Cleveland Browns fans have been there through the hardest of times and some of the best of times since the team returned to the NFL in 1999. Who could forget when a soldier and a Wolverine lit the town on fire in 2007 with a 10-win season for the ages? From a Hail Mary touchdown pass by Tim Couch to secure the first victory of the new era, to a playoff victory led by Baker Mayfield over the hated Pittsburgh Steelers, this book captures it all. From wins over their rivals to wins in prime time with the world watching, we examine every big moment and every hard hit. First and 10, the latest read from veteran author Vince McKee, takes you through every high and low since the Cleveland Browns' return to the NFL and is now available everywhere books are sold, including Amazon. Tonight's broadcast is brought to you by Advanced Diagnostics Auto Care and Maintenance. If you want dealership quality at a fraction of the cost, visit Advanced Diagnostics Auto Care and Maintenance at 23779 Lorraine Road in North Olmsted, and you won't be disappointed. You need a repair shop that you can trust. They know the repair process is all about customer service. How they treat their customers is just as important, if not more important, than the quality of the services they provide. They are always willing to discuss your repair needs before, during, and long after your visit. They treat you like family and won't stop until you're completely satisfied and road ready. B.A. Sweetie Candy Company. The world's most famous candy company is right here in our backyard. They are located at 6770 Brook Park Road in Cleveland, and it is a candy lover's paradise. They have every candy from your childhood, so make sure to visit them today. Climate Tech Inc. For 48 years, family-owned and operated Climate Tech has been the premier company for all HVAC services. For both residential and commercial, they have it covered. They offer free estimates on equipment replacement and 24-hour emergency service. Visit them at climatetech.com. Dave's Golden Shear Barbershop. Dave's Golden Shear Barbershop has been your trusted barber for nearly a century of great haircuts. With affordable prices and excellent customer service, there's no better place to get your cut. It is located at 26915 Center Ridge Road in Westlake. Dick Esser Plumbing. Get exceptional plumbing repairs and installations for your commercial property from the experienced professionals at Dick Esser Plumbing and Heating Incorporated. They provide honest services and quality workmanship. You can find out more about them today at dickesserplumbing.com. Falls PC Clinic. If you're looking for excellent service and a people-friendly approach, then you've come to the right place. Falls PC Clinic has an ultimate goal to serve you and make your experience a pleasant one. They offer all repairs for makes and models, including Mac computers. They work on laptops and desktops and specialize in hardware repairs. Look them up at fallspcclinic.com. Live from University Hospital Ranger Stadium in North Ridgeville, Ohio, it is week 1 of the 2023 high school football season. Amazing, folks, it is already here, but we've got a great one on tap for you today as the North Olmsted Eagles travel in to take on the North Ridgeville Rangers. I am Brandon Soder alongside Dom Clary and Cole McDaniel, your broadcast team here today. Again, it's crazy to think that we're already back around to high school football, but here it is. The summer has come and gone, and it is time to get things rolling here once more. I want to take this time to remind you folks that the pregame show is brought to you by our friends over at Hinckley Roofing. And now, going to go ahead and send it over to our other two analysts today, Cole McDaniel and Dom Clary.
Well, week 1 is officially upon us. As you just heard from Brandon Soder, of course, I'm Cole McDaniel. Dom Clary here as well. Again, a 3-man crew this year. Of course, we had Brandon Soder last year who was handling all of the technical aspect. And, hey, we really did a good job last year of getting this thing under wraps and decided to bring Brandon's talents back to the broadcast side of things as well. So, of course, I'll serve as your play-by-play. You have Dom Clary, the main color. And then, of course, we will toss it over to Brandon from time to time as well so we get to hear his voice on this broadcast once again. But for everybody out there watching and listening, if you haven't hit the subscribe button, make sure you do so already. But here in week 1, heard it from Brandon, at University Hospital's Ranger Stadium, it is the North Ridgeville Rangers hosting the North Olmsted High School Eagles. And we are looking forward to this one. Dom, has it hit you yet that it's week 1?
No, but it's about to. I've heard the band, right?
Yep.
The blood's starting to flow a little bit. As soon as that ball's kicked, I already know I'm going to be running out in the field. Mm-hmm. I'm excited, Cole. We have a good season this year. We have 2 teams, kind of at different spots, but they could kind of have similar paths this year. I'm excited to see that. Cool. Win for a good one here tonight. I'm excited.
Absolutely, and we'll touch on these 2 teams from 2022 here in just a moment. We'll be right back. Kickoff underway in less than a minute. So back here, kickoff set to get underway here in just a moment as it's going to be the visitors in the North Olmsted Eagles going to kick off from left to right on your screen as it will be 3 North Ridgeville Rangers back deep to return here in just a moment. And taking a look at these 2 teams, their records from last year, North Ridgeville, the hosts, they had a record last year of 5-6 overall, 2-5 in the SWC. That was their record, of course, like I said, last season. But for a young team full of freshmen and sophomores, we saw a lot of good things, Dom. We saw the potential that they might be a team to watch out for this year with actually having some guys who are now upperclassmen, juniors.
And, you know, we saw that against Midview, and we thought, wow, this could be a team next year. They told you, no, we're the team of now. Well, they pushed one of the top seeds, right, when they went out west towards Toledo and almost shoulda, woulda, coulda won their first-round game. Everyone was following that game last year, Cole, in that first round of the playoffs. This team's looking to show that that wasn't a fluke. We have everyone back that we need to reload, refuel, and get ready to go. Cool. The players we have on our notes here, junior, sophomore, junior. Yeah. That is a young team. They may not reach their full potential today or tomorrow, but this team is young, and they're ready to go.
Well, it's a team that even last year had a lot of success in the non-conference schedule. They went 3-0 last year in non-conference play before, like I said, the 2-5 record in the loaded SWC. And they opened the season last year on the road at North Olmsted, and they won that one 34-21 to start the 2022 season. So these 2 teams, they're familiar with each other. We'll see what those juniors, and of course you mentioned that one sophomore as well, and Zach Barnhart, the running back, can do. As for North Olmsted, in their white jerseys and the black pants, about to kick this one away here in just a moment. Last season, an overall record of 8-4. They were 4-1 in Great Lakes West, and they had a slow start, though, last season. They start off 0-2. Of course, one of those losses to North Ridgeville, as mentioned, but then they went on a 5-game win streak. But not only are they looking for revenge against the Rangers, but they want to see what they can do with needing to replace Xavier Balson at quarterback, and Jared Kelly was their big playmaker at wide receiver. Again, without those 2 players, what's your offense going to look like? Can you compete with North Ridgeville, who got the better of you last season?
This is a team. We're going to see some growing pains here today from the Eagles. But don't let that fool you. This is a team. They know what they have in that locker room. They feel like they can compete. Everyone may be doubting this young team with little experience. They're ready to go. They've been to camp. They've been dedicated to this squad, and they have fought all summer long. This team thinks that they can compete. They're looking to prove it here tonight, Cole.
And all I'm going to say, guys, it's week one. If either of these teams come out slow, like you say, don't panic. You got to have some time to shake the cobwebs off and get going. But, who knows what's going to happen here today. But we're excited. Let's go.
Week one has officially begun. Ball's up in the air, and it is fielded at the 12-yard line, looking for some space, trying to split through 2 defenders, and wrapped up just before the 20-yard line, officially at the 19. And that is where quarterback number 3, Brendan Watchorn, the junior, will bring out the offense onto the field.
There it is. One play down, guys.
Yeah. And, of course, in the backfield, mentioned that sophomore, the talented running back, number 36, Zach Barnhart. He was a load to deal with his freshman year. And, of course, we'll see what he can do this year. Here's a handoff. Barnhart turning the legs, gets about 1.5 yards, maybe 2, spot to the 21. And it's going to be 2nd and 8.
We saw a little gap for him. O-line didn't hold it just long enough on that inside zone to the left there. But that could break loose if that tackle was able to hold off that defensive end just a little bit longer. Now they're running an odd, I believe. Yeah, they have 3 down linemen, 4 linebackers. This is hard to block here.
So a little surprising here out there right now is there's the clap of the hand off to Barnhart, not much room, trying to keep those legs churning. Did not get any space there, but number 3, Brendan Watchorn, over on the sideline right now. Looks like it's number 10, Cole Miller, the sophomore quarterback who's taking the snaps. It looks to remain out there on the field. Looks like Watchorn has a helmet and is on the sideline, but we'll wait and see if that is a story today. 3rd and 8 from the 21. Man in motion, looking to the near sideline. Completion made to number 30, Jack Palsey, and he's wrapped up well short of the sticks. And the special teams unit going to have to come out on the field and punt this one away. Short 3 and out. Really quick for the Rangers offense.
That's what that odd formation is supposed to do, right? You have 3 down linemen. You could do a lot of different movements with your linebacker. But what this allows you to do, it allows more athletes on the field. You only have 3 big guys, usually pretty athletic. This is a formation I believe the Browns have used before. You see a lot with teams like the Steelers and the Ravens. It's really familiar if you're an AFC North fan for professional football. What this does is that they're saying, hey, run the ball on us. They trust their linebackers and their pass rushers to contain that run attack, and they want you to throw, and they sucker you in with zone coverage, and that's what we just saw right there.
Punt blocked immediately. This one's going to be a scoop and score. Big special teams play for North Olmsted, and the Eagles take an early 6-0 lead. Flying in there was number 26, Logan Dangerfield. He's going to talk about him in just a moment because he's one of the returning running backs for the team. Instead on special teams, makes the big play, and the visitors, like I said, score first.
See, and that's week one, guys. You saw North Ridgeville come out and try to limit the mistakes early. 2 runs and a quick screen pass. Try to just get the team comfortable, get them in rhythm. And then, like we see, I feel like year over year, crazy first special teams play for Ridgeville. And, unfortunate for them to give that up, but, got to be happy for the Eagles.
And the PAT coming here in just a moment. Snap is good, holds good, kick is a low line drive. Splits the uprights there. And of course, I think everybody around Northeast Ohio says Cade York can take notes, as that has been the big topic here the last couple days all over social media. And everybody, of course, has had a lot of discussion about kickers, but props to number 42 there for North Olmsted. Again, don't see a 42 here on the roster at the moment, but split the uprights on his kick. Well done. 7-0, just under 10 minutes remaining here, so quick score for North Olmsted. Didn't even have to get the offense out on the field, Dom.
Hey, special teams, cool. That's what wins you championships there.
Yep.
If you win if you score in special teams or force turnovers in special teams, you have a extremely high chance of winning the football game. Every football team I've ever been on has emphasized special teams. I've been on a few teams that didn't have a good special teams unit. We lost multiple games because of it. This cannot be a habit for the Rangers here. They need to figure it out, and they need to get rid of the mistakes there. If this continues, not just today, but for a few weeks or even the rest of the year. They're going to have a few losses on their schedule. They did everything right except that third phase of the game. Special teams cannot hinder you. You have to be consistent. You have to be demanding on yourself. You cannot take that play off. That's what we just saw there. Good job on the Eagles there.
So the kick is up, and this one's going to go a little bit further than the opening kick of the game, fielded at the 8-yard line, finding a little bit of space, and stripped, immediately stripped. I think that is Dangerfield once again. Dangerfield twice on special teams. Initially the block punt, this time the forced fumble picks it up, and already in the red zone is the North Olmsted Eagles offense.
I didn't think we'd be talking about special teams this much. With 9 minutes and 45 seconds to go still in the first quarter, guys. But that's 4 special teams plays for North Olmsted, and 2 of them they forced turnovers. And, you know, one was obviously the made PAT, and then the booming kick to start the game. So, like, as Dom said, so far special teams is winning it for North Olmsted.
And a reminder that all kicks, sacks, and turnovers in this game have been brought to you by Hinckley Roofing. Check them out online at hinkleyroofing.com. Of course, we saw 2 things there. We saw a kick and a turnover immediately. Here's the handoff on the opening snap. First play of the game on offense for the Eagles. Handoff to Dangerfield up the middle, and not too much space there. Still surges forward for a few yards. 2nd and 8 officially. Hurrying back to the line of scrimmage. There's a pitch to Dangerfield, looking for some space. Gets by 2 defenders and taken down just past the 10-yard line. And want to remind everybody out there that number 10, Tommy Horsfall, the junior, he is taking over the quarterback position in place of Xavier Balson, who graduated last year and had been the starter for quite a while. So a new face out there in that number 10 jersey, and good decision on that pitch.
Say just a little bit of an option over to the right side. Made the right call. He was about to go down there, and now we've got a 3rd and short for the Eagles. They got a chance to convert.
3rd and 2, as Brandon just said, from the 9-yard line. There's a snap, and there's a mistake. That one sails over the head and not able to fall on it. This one scooped up by North Ridgeville, and, well, this is definitely week 1. This is one of those situations where week 1, guys, you're going to see mistakes. Both teams are going to make them. But that one over there, you just saw Horsfall look to his left, was not expecting that snap. And although he tracked back and was first to get to that ball, you got to get down and make sure you fall on top of that and secure it. And now that trip to the red zone has been squandered, and you just gave the host team in North Ridgeville some new life.
What is happening?
I have no clue.
I mean,
It's week 1, though.
I mean,
It's week 1.
Still, week 1, you should have this. The ball should not be on the ground.
Here's the jet sweep there, and not much room. Really not able to pick up any speed. Ryan Anderson there, and steps out of bounds at the 37-yard line. Gain of just 3. I think Dom's going to come unglued here the first couple minutes into this game already. And hey, we asked when week 1 would kind of feel like week 1, and a couple minutes in, you're probably starting to feel fired up, want to put the helmet on.
I'm getting angry with all the offensive mistakes here. I mean, you can't have them. As someone who is an offensive player, it hurts. And you have an opportunity. Okay, we made a mistake, right? Special teams, they made a mistake here. Let's get the ball back. Let's get a drive going. A fumble. Dangerfield does it again. I mean, he's all over the place here for the Eagles on special teams. You can't have these mistakes. You have the Eagles, a perfect opportunity in the red zone. Snap goes over their head like Peyton Manning in the Super Bowl against the Seahawks. These are mistakes that cannot happen. And another mistake there by the defense.
And there's a clap of the hand there from Cole Miller. On the last play, decided to keep it, pulled it late, got a couple yards. That time a clap of the hand forces the offsides. There, just a mental mistake there for the defense of North Olmsted, and that moves the chains. 1st down for the Rangers now. Reminder that last red zone trip that really didn't result in points for the Eagles was brought to you by Kelly McLean Achievement Center. Visit kelly-mac.com to learn more. 1st and 10 from the 46-yard line. There's a handoff, and no room. Swallowed by white jerseys was Barnhart.
So now this Eagles defense, they're on their toes. They know they're running the ball, right? Which Watchhorn is not the quarterback, right? So they're not expecting throwing here. They're expecting run up the middle here from Barnhart. This defense is going to mix in different movements, different pressures. They're going to show blitz and not have blitz. I mean, look at how many people are in the box right now, Cole.
Good snap. Miller back to pass. Looking down the left sideline. That one is floated up in the air and in the direction of number 6, Charlie Steinmetz. And Steinmetz, a prominent figure on the team last season. But even for as talented as Steinmetz is, that's a tough ball to deal with because there were 2 white jerseys surrounding him.
You know, I don't fault them for trying to go deep there. Again, we've seen them try to kind of pound the rock over and over again. We even saw, Cole Miller get some action and truck a defender on his way up the middle. But, I don't fault him for the attempt. But yeah, man, that's tough to complete. It's tough to get there if you're the receiver.
5 wide now. Now Barnhart in motion. Keeper for Miller, looking for some space up the middle. Tries to hurdle a defender already on the ground, and he crosses the 50-yard line and falls forward for an extra 3 yards there.
Again, both of their most effective runs so far have come from Miller. So don't be surprised if they continue to try to mix that in, especially with a young quarterback. You're going to want to limit the mistakes as much as possible. We've already seen mistakes bite both these teams in the behind, but, I expect them to mix that up quite a bit on the ground.
That's exactly what we're seeing is both teams keeping the ball on the ground. They don't really want to do too much in the air, trying to limit their mistakes. Oh, this is a tight formation here, Cole. Oh.
Yeah, movement in the backfield on 4th and 3, and that would have been manageable for North Ridgeville to try to pick that one up. Now they're going to have to change their game plan as had the false start and Barnhart getting a little over antsy there. So 4th and 8 now as the ball moves back to the other side of the 50-yard line. 6.5 minutes remaining here in the opening quarter as North Olmsted holds a 7-0 lead.
Miller's heading back out there on 4th and 8. See what they decide to do.
They're going for it here. I can't imagine they're going to try to get the Eagles to jump off sides.
It's clap of the hands, snap of the ball, looking to the outside, and that one is sailed well wide of the intended target. Number 2, Austin Young, the receiver closest in the area. He slipped as he tried to cut back, but got to say, no matter where that ball was placed there, I think Young wouldn't have been able to come up with it because he was still trying to get up off the ground. So just a play that kind of turned into havoc immediately.
Now, I know, they're at midfield. We're kind of in no man's land already, but how much are those early mistakes on special teams kind of seeping into, both the coaching staff and the players' heads here? Did that factor into them not trying to punt that away?
Perhaps. It's very possible that they were concerned about another block because, there was nobody that stepped in front of Dangerfield the last time. He had a free run at the punter, so perhaps a concern of the coaching staff. You're right, Brandon. So the offense for North Olmsted back on the field after the turnover on the last play, and this one blown up in the backfield. A big loss there as Horsfall kept running backwards, and the blue jerseys were able to get to him at the 41-yard line.
And that's another mistake. Now it is second and way too long. That's not where you want to be. You want to be second and medium here, where it allows you to run the ball. Now, you're probably going to do a screenplay here. You can get a chunky yardage back. But, again, you know me. I hate screenplays. But I hate screenplays. But, now you're just throwing the ball deep. You can't have a mistake like this.
Well, there's that screen, as you mentioned. And as the defensive lineman pushed the Eagles offensive lineman into the backfield, Dangerfield got bumped from behind and was not able to haul in that pass. And again, another play that goes awry, and it's now 3rd and 20. Very long ways to first down sticks for the Eagles.
Wouldn't be surprised if they run the ball here, just take it on the chin and punt the ball. 3rd and very long. You may not get this here. Even if you do, it's going to take a crazy play.
Here's the option, the pitch. Dangerfield makes one man miss. Going to get up close to the 50-yard line, and that's exactly where they're going to spot him. So still going to be about 4th and 11. And I would have to assume that the Eagles are just going to punt this one away, see if they can pin the Rangers deep.
Not incredibly surprising. Still 5 minutes to go in the first quarter. Both offenses really struggling to get anything going. It's going to be interesting to see how much those mental mistakes from earlier are going to come into play later on in this game, because it might be a while before these offenses really start clicking. That 7 points early could be huge for North Olmsted.
Carter Clark and Austin Young back to return, standing at about the 15-yard line. Punt is up. This one has some side spin on it. Going to hop, take a favorable bounce for North Olmsted. Surprised that it was fielded. I am shocked that Austin Young fielded that one instead of letting that one go into the end zone. That did not have the backspin to hold up. Instead, he fielded that at the 2-yard line and didn't really make it very far, and his offense is going to be pinned very deep, Dom.
You know what we call that, Cole? No discipline and no field awareness. You have to know that ball is going to get into the end zone, right? Unless it takes a crazy hot. You let that ball go. If you were on the 5-yard line, that means don't touch the ball.
Right.
Nothing good comes out of touching the ball on the 5-yard line other than losing yardage or getting a safety. I understand you want to make the big play, but you have to know, hey, my heels are on the 5. This ball is going into the end zone. It's another mistake here, Cole. It's killing me.
So Cole Miller and the offense back out on the field. Assume this is going to have to be a handoff to Barnhart. It is. Surges past the 5-yard line, up past the 6, clearing out 2 yards of space. Again, not much room yet so far for Barnhart, who had a really excellent year last year as a freshman.
Again, this is exactly how both of these teams game plan. They know they're young quarterbacks on both sides here. We know it's early on in the season, so they're going to key in on the run. And we've seen it. It's been tough for either of these teams to get anything going on the ground.
4 minutes remaining in the first quarter. 2nd and 8 from the 6. Receiver in motion. Here's the handoff once again for Barnhart. Best run of the night so far for him as he gets to the 15-yard line. That's going to move the chains. First down. And maybe that's the little bit of spark that the offensive line of North Ridgeville and really the whole offense needed, because they hadn't had much success moving the ball at all so far.
You know, I'm almost curious if there was a QB battle in the summer that we weren't aware about.
Yeah, because I think everybody expected Watchorn coming into this.
I mean, we definitely did. So I'm curious if he lost the QB battle there in camp.
Here's a keeper up the middle. No room there for Miller as he's taken down. Well, and here's the thing about it. Even though the Rangers last year were a running team, guys, I mean, Watchorn still was definitely good enough that, of course, the Keon Sports Awards at the end of the year, he had some Lorain County awards. I believe he was second-team quarterback for our Keon Sports Awards that go up on the website. And, of course, was up there and got some recognition in the SWC as well. So we definitely know that Brendan Watchorn had a lot of ability, but we'll see what Cole Miller can do leading this offense here right now.
Yeah, that's a good call.
Some movement.
I that's going to be offsides there in the defense. That was number 24 there. Yeah, Matt Chalkwater.
Chalkwater.
First team all name.
Yeah, you have to compile a list of that here throughout the season, Dom, of the great names that we're going to see on all these rosters throughout the season. Going to have to say Chalkwater might be up there. You'll see him in the backfield, maybe getting some touches at running back. But again, one of the linebackers to pay attention to for the Eagles. So now 2nd and 3 from the 22-yard line. Here's the snap. Dropping back, throw over the middle. Wide open is Steinmetz. Steinmetz down past the 50-yard line into Eagles territory. And that is the biggest play of the game so far for the Rangers, down 7.
So, you know, we're going to praise the quarterback connection there. There was no deep safety, right? There was pressure. I believe there was a six-man pressure there. Guess what? Offensive line and running back, they picked it up. That's what I like to see there. The running back working in unison with his offensive line. No pressure he had all day. That's beautiful football.
Steinmetz in motion. Handoff to Barnhart up the middle. Cody Marker coming in, and I believe that's going to end up being a holding against the Rangers, so we're going to back them up after a huge play. And that is a hold. So just a moment ago on that catch, Charlie Steinmetz, the junior, number 6, is listed as a running back on the roster. Now, he's a guy a lot of times is lined up just on the edge of the offensive line and comes in motion, and he'll touch the football. He'll certainly get some carries, some handoffs there, but he's a guy who also many consider a wide receiver because he was one of their leading receivers last season and expect him to be a main target, a staple for the offense.
You need utility players like him, Cole. It keeps the defense on their heels and allows you to put them in different spots to succeed.
There's a high throw to the near side of the field. That play wasn't going anywhere from the start. Probably a good thing, though, that it was sailed by Miller and not in the direction of the receiver fully because there were multiple white jerseys there. Last thing you need is an interception on a screen and that one going to the house for a pick six. So live to see another day, 2nd and 20 from the 42-yard line.
Especially when you're the Rangers, you finally have some momentum going. Last thing you want to do is give up a costly turnover.
Back to pass. Miller once again looking to the far side. Has not been able to connect with Austin Young on those comeback routes. Just a little curl there from Austin Young, the senior wide receiver. And throw was behind him once again. Falls to the turf, incomplete. 3rd and 20.
You know, Miller's having a tough time with the route tree here. He's stuck on his first read. He doesn't really move off of it. He's had open receivers off that first read. But I think he's really struggling to understand the route tree and when the breaks happen. I mean, he has the protection there. They keep 2 running backs back there to protect him from time to time.
There's a clap of the hand, the snap, rolling to his left. Going to keep it. Miller decides at the last minute, right before he passed the line of scrimmage, to flip that one in the direction of Steinmetz, and that one sailed on him, and it's now going to be 4th and very long. So 4th and 20, you're going to have to send the punting unit back out here again, and last time that happened, disaster struck. 6 points went up on the board, and that is the whole reason why you were down 7-0 right now. Can the special teams unit clean that up and make sure they key on Logan Dangerfield?
I'm surprised how condensed this punt formation is. They don't have anyone out wide. They have the 3 shields there to protect them. They need to do a better job here.
Short punt. Didn't have any spin on it. Takes an awkward hop into the hands of number 4, Brady Hogg, the senior, trying to deal with that awkward hop. Slipped out of his hands. He had to dive on that football. Maybe fortunate for the Eagles that Hogg was the first one to get to it, because that nearly could have been a disaster for them and given the Rangers the best field position of the night.
Just quickly now, as you know, North Olmsted starts to get set up. One thing I think we need to continue to look out for. Cole Miller has obviously struggled throwing the ball so far, just 1 completion. But boy, this coaching staff, they trust him.
Right.
I'm wondering, like you said, if he did win that quarterback battle, they just threw it 3 times in a row. They weren't afraid to keep going back to Miller. So maybe just seeing him shaking off a little bit of rust, and the best might be yet to come from Miller.
You know, when you have your first start on Friday Night Lights, your feet feel so heavy. I mean, you feel the pressure. It's going to take him a little bit here to get used to it.
Here's the handoff to Dangerfield. Quickly wrapped up. Kept those legs churning, so got 2 yards out of it. But a lot of dark blue jerseys right there in the area. And now we are officially under 1 minute left here in the first quarter. The very first quarter of the 2023 high school football season has come and gone. Going to get about maybe one more play here before we switch sides. What a crazy first quarter it's been, too, guys.
only 1 score, but boy, has it been wild here tonight.
Back to pass, short throw, and there's a slip by the receiver. That's Colin Willard, the senior, one of the stars of this team, a guy to watch out for throughout the season for the North Olmsted Eagles. Jogging off a little gingerly. Hopefully he's okay. Maybe rolled up his ankle as he was trying to come back to that football, and pass from Tommy Horsfall to that back shoulder. Sailed out of bounds, incomplete. And now it's 3rd and 8. Still from the 29-yard line.
This is going to be all Horsfall here. Nobody in the backfield with him on this 3rd and long.
3 down linemen. You have pressure there on the outside, top of your screen. Number 1.
And that play immediately blown up as Dangerfield came into the backfield. And Horsfall thought about handing it off, saw all the bodies in front, pulled it, and he had nowhere to go. And that one is going to wrap up the quarter here. So we're going to end the first quarter here from University Hospital's Ranger Stadium with the visitors, the North Olmsted Eagles, leading 7-0. We'll be right back here on the Keon Sports YouTube channel.
Tonight's broadcast is brought to you by Frankie's Italian Cuisine. Looking for a place to enjoy a post-game meal? Love Italian food? Frankie's Italian Cuisine has you covered from meatball to lasagna. Visit them tonight at 4641 Great Northern Boulevard in North Olmsted and taste the 50-plus years of legacy for yourself. Freedom Auto Detail and Ceramics. Experience the best in automotive luxury and protection with Freedom Auto Detailing in Ceramics. Unleashing the true beauty of your vehicle with expert detailing, premium ceramic coating, and paint protection services. As a veteran-owned and operated business, they take pride in the unique qualities and values that set them apart from other detailing and paint correction services. Find their work online at freedomceramiccoatings.com.
Back here from University Hospital's Ranger Stadium, again, Cole McDaniel, Dom Clary, and Brandon Soder bringing you the action here in Week 1 for the Keon Sports High School Football Game of the Week. We start off the quarter now as the teams switch sides. 4th and 13, ball on the 24-yard line, and set to punt this one away. Not much room to get that one away, and a little bit of flop there in the backfield, and that ball is going to roll all the way back. Really favorable bounce for the Rangers. Great field position as they trail 7-0. The offense comes out. Ball at the 28-yard line. Special teams not been good so far for either team.
Really, though, first real I don't even want to call it a miscue, but mistake from North Olmsted. I mean, you know, both on the kickoffs, their PAT, everything's been pretty solid. The kicking's been there, but, you know, it's just the pressure came in a little bit too fast for the punter to really get set. And, I mean, wow, you really couldn't ask for a much better position if you're the Rangers right now.
So the best starting field position of the night for the hosts, and the handoff up the middle. And looks like the ball's out. Believe the Rangers were able to get on that first, but they're going to move the pile here and see exactly who's the ball. And yes, Barnhart was able to get to it. Looked like the Rangers maintained possession of the football there. Second down upcoming. So avoided a turnover there. And we just had the punt, so a reminder that all kicks, sacks, and turnovers in this game have been brought to you by Hinckley Roofing. Check them out online at hinckleyroofing.com. 2nd and 9 now. Just 1 yard gain off that last play. Here's the handoff to Barnhart again. Spins off of one would-be tackler and now makes his way up to the 20-yard line.
He's a bowling ball back there, Cole. He lowers his shoulder, and he's willing to get a few extra yards there. He'll sacrifice his shoulder for the team. That's a guy you want to block for there, a guy who's willing to dive forward and get a few extra.
Yeah, for still an underclassman. Again, he was solid physically his freshman year, and, you know, probably the same thing. I wouldn't be surprised if he's even had a little more weight and muscle on him, but he's going to be a tough guy to bring down when he has the football in his hands. Slips another tackler. Barreling forward, keeping the legs churning. He's going to get up to just about the 15-yard line, move the chains. First down up at the 16-yard line. And a reminder that this trip to the red zone has been brought to you by Kelly McLean Achievement Center. Visit kelly-mac.com to learn more.
You know, Barnhart, obviously he's a fun guy to watch regardless, but he's going to be a guy, not saying he is Nick Chubb, but like Nick Chubb, where the more he's out there, the more he's running, the more he's getting physical, the more space he's going to be able to get, and the more those big runs he's going to be able to break off.
Miller, short pass. That's the first completion to Austin Young. They were able to link up there on the outside, and Young able to spin to the outside and gain an extra yard there after the catch. Pushed out of bounds right about the 6-yard line. Going to mark it officially on the scoreboard at the 7, so it's going to be 2nd and 1, just short of the sticks.
Good spot you want to be in here. This is a team, this defensive team, they like to spread their defense out. Now you're going to come back to them here. This is a spot you want to be in here if you're North Ridgeville.
Expect that run up the middle Here it is, Barnhart finds some room, churning his legs towards the end zone, and he crosses the plane of the goal line into the end zone. And the Rangers just needed the quarter to change to get some life. And they're right back in this 7-6. And the ensuing PAT can knot this thing up.
Like I said, they still wanted 3 down there. They scrambled to get a guy off the edge. When you run an odd defense, that usually means you don't have enough down linemen to be comfortable running an even or 4 down. They couldn't do it there. Rangers took advantage. That's why we saw a touchdown there, Cole. Right now, this is a team that's figuring out their groove here on the ground. Barnhart, it's the reason why he's their guy.
PAT is up and good for Austin DeShazo. The linebacker, the junior, puts that one up through the uprights, and it is 7-7 now. And that's exactly what the hosts needed here to start the second quarter, to give them some new life after some of the mistakes early in this game. 9.5 minutes to go in the second quarter.
Exciting game on our hands now. We've seen that North Ridgeville has the ability to move the ball down the field. Given they did have a short field, they went out, they executed their offense the way they wanted to. No crazy breaks, just able to pound the ball right up the middle like they had planned. Now, time to see if North Olmsted can finish settling in and give them a response, because in the first time this game, things are knotted up. They don't have that cushy little extra 7 points. Offense has to go out there and prove that they can handle themselves.
Yeah, and you're right. I mean, Brandon, we haven't really seen a ton of the North Olmsted offense yet, and of course the points up on the board are from the special teams. So now that you need your offense to respond, what can you do here? I mean, Dangerfield, obviously you want to run it with him. Of course, Saul Willard to go out. Hopefully he's okay, because he's a big part of your offense. So it's going to be the true test now here on this drive. Kick is up, fielded by Dangerfield, close to the 10-yard line, looking for some space, trying to get to the outside. One man to beat to get around the edge, and wrapped up from behind by Andrew Ennis. So the Eagles offense coming out onto the field. Ball placed at the 22-yard line. Of course, on your screen, North Olmsted will be going from right to left. Looks like 2 wide on either side, so 4 wide receivers out there for North Olmsted. Again, just trying to keep things spread out. Dangerfield in the backfield. Pressure from behind. Dangerfield tried to pick up the blitz there, but Carson Matus, the junior linebacker, comes soaring into the backfield and drops Tommy Horsfall.
Carson Mattis, sorry about to cut you off there, but Carson Mattis is an edge rusher here that he's not traditional. He's a thin guy, but he is strong. Don't let that fool you. We've seen guys built like him before in the SWC, the Van Courts, the 2 brothers. They were skinny. They didn't look like they were built for defensive end. But, boy, if you were at left tackle, you were terrified of him. Mattis is the same way. He has been in the backfield all night every time he brought the pressure, but they're not afraid to keep him out wide for coverage. He is a dynamic outside linebacker.
Here's a handoff up the middle. No room to run there. Taken down at the 14-yard line. So actually a loss of 1 there on that play. So 3rd and 19 upcoming. So long ways to go to the sticks again for the Eagles.
Say this defensive line in general for Ridgeville has really come alive these last 4 or 5 plays going back to that previous drive. Another player, just to keep an eye out, defensive tackle Shane Osborne also getting a ton of pressure right up the middle. It's making it difficult for North Olmsted to run the ball, and again, getting right in the quarterback's face.
Here's the pass, and that one closest in the direction of number 12, Caden Reed, the defensive back for the Rangers. If he laid out for that one, could have picked that one off. Dangerous pass there for Horsfall, and you can see him starting to feel the pressure there and getting a little bit antsy. And now that incompletion forces 4th and 18. So back deep, going to be punting from their own end zone.
And if you're North Ridgeville, this is exactly what you want. You have a younger quarterback in there with Horsfall. Or I should say he is a junior, rather. So he does have a little bit of experience under his belt. But still, this early in the season, it's tough enough to get settled in. It's significantly harder when you constantly have pressure in your face.
So we'll see if the pressure comes from the Rangers. Only one really rushed, and still the pressure got there in the face of the punter, and that one is fielded at about the 36-yard line. So good field position once again for the Rangers coming up here on offense, as they just took a lead on the last offensive drive. Under 8 minutes left to go in the second quarter. It'll be a 1st and 10 from the 38 officially.
Your positive field position, right? You're here at the 38-yard line. You got to score. Take the lead. Forget that mistake you had earlier. This is your time. Forget about it, right? Do what you have to do to get the job done here. Have a great run game. This is a team that can drive the ball down the field here, Cole. Let's see it happen.
It's the handoff to Steinmetz. He's tripped up from behind. Just getting in the backfield there was Matthew Chalkwater, and it looked like Steinmetz was going to be able to get away from Chalkwater, but again, just that stumble, and Steinmetz couldn't keep his balance and falls to the ground right at the 36, so a gain of 2.
You know, only a gain of 2, but that might have done even more to North Olmsted's psyche. It's been very hard for them to stop anything these last couple of plays, and you see it there. They limited the damage, but, you know, Ridgeville could have very easily pulled off a huge run there.
2 in the backfield with Miller. Here's the handoff to Barnhart. Runs right into a wall of 2 white jerseys, but pushes forward past the 35 to the 34-yard line. 3rd down upcoming. And we'll see if Cole Miller goes to the air here.
Haven't seen him pass much, but he really hasn't had to up to this point.
2 receivers to the near side of the field, 1 to the far side. Man in motion, back to pass, looking to this far side, and that one just off the hands of Austin Young on the tight coverage there from Brady Hogg. 4th and 6.
Great job on North Olmsted's side there. The secondary able to get there and break that up. Really, Cole Miller, that was an accurate throw. He had it right on the money, just great coverage. You know, maybe could have made a little bit of a better decision, but all the credit on that one goes to the Eagles.
Well, that's one of those, I think, if we're talking about upper tier of Division I college football and we're talking about the pros, that pass probably comes out a slight bit sooner before the receiver comes out of his break. We're talking high school football, put it on the money. That's a good pass there, just tight coverage. Now on 4th and 6, offense remains out on the field. Back to passes Miller. He wants it all, looking to the end zone, sails this one long, and there's a stumble there from Austin Young. Not too much of a complaint. Maybe a few people in the crowd want pass interference called, but again, that is just a stumble as Austin Young goes to the ground. Good no call. Turnover on downs, and the Eagles live to see another day.
I like the attitude of, hey, you know, we're at the 34-yard line. Let's throw it deep. They get a pick. Who cares? We'll be in the end zone. Maybe they'll go out of bounds. That will be our punt. I like that. I like at this level at least, you know, you don't have too many kickers that are kicking, what would that be, like a 46-yard field goal? So, you know what? Throw the ball deep. See what happens. Almost had a good result, but now, hey, North Olmsted, they're in decent field position, but you can stop him here and get the ball back pretty quick.
Yeah, and the PAT for North Ridgeville not too long ago was taken by Austin DeShazo, the linebacker. Again, got it through the uprights, but as a line drive, it was low. Definitely would have to be much closer than that, I think, to get a field goal chance. Here's the pass rolling out to the right, and that one incomplete in the direction of Brady Hogg. 2nd and 10 upcoming now from the 34. Under 6.5 minutes left to go as we're all knotted up. 7-7 here from University Hospital Ranger Stadium in the opening game of the regular season here. Keon Sports High School Football Game of the Week.
You know, Horsfall's still looking for that first completion, and they're trying to get a little bit creative, rolling them out one way or the other. You know, we've seen him run that option too, just to kind of get him some space to work, but man, it's been tough going for him so far.
There's the pitch to Dangerfield. Has some space, cuts back, and going to be taken down close to the sticks. We'll see where the spot is. If he's short, he's just going to be short, and they're going to officially say exactly 1 yard short. So 3rd and 1 upcoming, and that was one of the biggest offensive plays for North Olmsted so far.
I feel like in this case, I mean, you've been trusting Logan Dangerfield to try to get your offense going. No reason not to try to plunge this right up the middle.
Trips left. Dangerfield to the left of Horsfall in the backfield. Nearly a jump there from Carson Mattis.
Watch for option to the short side here. They want to take advantage of that one backer out there.
There's the handoff, finds the space, makes a man miss. One man to beat, cuts back and tracked down from behind, but into Rangers territory, past the 40-yard line, up to the 36. 1st and 10 upcoming. And this is finally the momentum that North Olmsted needed offensively.
You know, when you're jamming that defensive line together, you're like, okay, no runs up the middle. And then you look behind you, and it's a 20-yard run. Just not what you want there here if you're the Rangers. But, hey, you can recover. It wasn't a touchdown. You had a guy back there. Hey, but if you're the Eagles now, hey, this is where we start cooking. Right, our special teams unit has put us in a position where we're tied, but now we have to do our job.
So here's a keeper. Maybe a wrong decision there for Horsfall as that defensive line got to him quickly, and that was a name that was mentioned earlier by Brandon Soder. That's Shane Osborne, the big 275-pound defensive tackle, made his way into the backfield, wrapped up the quarterback for a 2-yard loss. On the play before, in the backfield was number 24, Matthew Chalkwater, as Logan Dangerfield got a quick breather after 2 large runs. Dangerfield back in the backfield now once again. Here's the snap, the option. Keeper cutting back his Horsfall after getting about a yard. Meets a defender there in the middle and taken down. Not much room once again.
This offense is very limited on what they're able to do. You could tell that this playbook is not very expansive yet this early in the season. It's very dumbed down. It's very inside zone left, inside zone right, screenplay, speed option left, speed option right, right? There's not too much going on here. You can tell that this team, they're not ready to take that next step when it comes to offensive playbook development. But if they could score here, they could prove, hey, we know these plays. The offensive line, they've suffered a lot of pressure. Now it's time for them to give it back here.
Back to pass, short pass to the outside. Quick completion and quickly brought down was Lawrence Stanley. So it's going to set up a 4th down, but this spot on the field, expect the offense to stay out there. This is going to be 4-down territory. Ball on the 32-yard line, 4th and 6. Looks like we're going to see the same formation again. Dangerfield in the backfield with Horsfall and 3 receivers to the near side of the field. Lawrence Stanley by himself on the far side.
Hey, finally a completion from Horsfall. You know, sometimes when you get that first one, that weight immediately lifts up off your shoulders. So let's see what that does for this offense.
Now, if he can pass for a 1st down here, now he'll be really relaxed there in the pocket.
Here's snap, an option, keeper for Horsfall, and he's not going to get there. Stonewalled about 1.5 yards away from the sticks, and that's going to be another turnover on downs. And that Rangers defense, when it mattered, able to hold strong, and so we've seen a couple turnovers on downs for both of these teams being aggressive on 4th down. Don, what'd you see on that play there, that keeper there for Horsfall?
You know, there was an initial pocket there on the outside. The Rangers did a good job of breaking down, figuring out where the ball is, locating the ball, turning their hips, and getting to the spot of the ball. This team does a very good job of releasing where they have to do, or where they are, and getting on the pursuit drill. You can tell that's something they drilled out during camp.
So now can the Eagles defense stop the Rangers here on this drive? Here's a keeper for Miller, trying to get to the outside. Excellent wrap-up tackle there. Coming in quickly was Hayden Rios, the senior defensive back.
A lot of QB runs on both sides here. They want to utilize their quarterback's legs. You know, two young guys back there, I believe both sophomores for both teams. They keep the ball on the ground. Don't throw the ball too much. Not too much pressure here. They're in the pistol. I love the pistol formation, Cole. So dynamic.
2nd and 5, the handoff up the middle. Barnhart just trying to find a little bit of space. There was nothing in front of him. Kept running into bodies. Surged forward for a gain of 4 yards. Looks like he's just going to be short of the sticks by maybe about an inch or 2. That's about as close as you can get, I think. And the officials might actually want to measure this and see if it is in fact a 1st down.
If this is a first, it's absolutely huge for North Ridgeville for a couple reasons. One, obviously, keeps your drive going, which is big. But now we are just over 2 minutes left in this quarter, in the half. North Olmsted's going to get the ball to start, the second when we come back here. So North Ridgeville probably looking to take as much time off this clock as they can, just stick with their offense, march it down the field, and just keep control of this. Don't give the Eagles another shot to do something here before the halftime.
Well, as we take a brief pause in the action here, it's almost like an unofficial 2-minute warning with 2 minutes and 10 seconds left as the chain gang comes out to measure this. I got to say, guys, week 1 and past years, again, middle of August in Ohio, it is usually blazing hot. It is almost like miserable for week 1. What a beautiful night we have for week 1. A little bit of a breeze. It's sunny. Low 70 degrees, supposed to drop into the 60s for temperatures. This feels more like football weather than what we're used to. Such a great night for some football, and you might have just heard over the PA announcement there right now that is officially a first down, and just tip of the football got there.
No, Cole, this is the best weather here. Keep the sleeves up. Don't need long sleeves. Don't need those compressions that are really thick. It's nice. It's football weather. Maybe if the leaves would change color a little bit, we'd really get in the mood here.
Right.
But, the weather really feels like football season.
Back to pass. Miller wants it all, has a man, and just floats it out there for Austin Young. Couple strides behind that pass there. I have to say the position of that pass was not bad at all there from Cole Miller. He put in a spot where only his receiver is going to get to it on the outside shoulder, maybe just slightly to the right. Put that one just a touch out of bounds. Young, again, just didn't have the long enough legs, I think, to get that one there. The 5'8" receiver on the roster, I think, is probably a little bit shorter than that. 5'8" might be generous for Austin Young. So 2 minutes remaining. A handoff on that jet sweep. Receiver in motion was number 17, Ryan Anderson, and he had nowhere to go. Wrapped up in the backfield for a loss of 2 yards. 3rd and 12 upcoming.
Shout out there to number 56, Muhammad got back there and just absolutely destroyed that play before it had any chance to go anywhere. Not sure if it was unblocked or just a good read, but man, absolutely nowhere to go for North Ridgeville.
Yeah, if that is in fact correct, that is an awesome name, Muhammad.
There's a lot of good candidates for the all-name team on this North Olmsted squad. I'll leave it at that, but yeah, absolutely incredible and an even better play.
Logan Dangerfield is a pretty cool name.
It is.
Because I think of Rodney Dangerfield immediately, and I just think of, the Triple Dundee? I forget what movie that was, where he's on the jumping board to go into the pole, and he keeps hitting all the boards below. Every time Logan makes a play, I just keep thinking of the Triple Lundy.
Yeah, and of course I'm thinking Caddyshack. I'm going to have to go there.
Yeah, Caddyshack's a good one. Can't go wrong with a little Caddyshack.
So 3rd and 12 from the 36. There's a clap of the hand there. Miller has a lot of pressure in his face. Gets that one away to Barnhart. Barnhart really looked like he was going to have a lot of room to run, but it's not going to matter. There's a penalty marker down. It's right there at the 40-yard line. This is going to have to go against the Rangers. And I think that was actually an ineligible man downfield. And this one's going to get backed up for the Rangers.
Yeah, that screenplay must have been beyond the line of scrimmage. If it's behind there, no problem. Keep on going. No legal man downfield. But if your running back there is beyond the line of scrimmage, they'll call that every day of the week. Now, what we like to call there is when you release your entire offensive line, which I'm not a big fan of. I usually like keeping at least 2 or 3 people. My quarterback in high school got injured because of those, so it always makes me nervous when I see it. But we call it elephants on parade. We have all your big guys running together, elephant, just on parade. It's one of my favorite terms when it comes to offensive linemen. You just 5 of your biggest players running downhill looking to cause mayhem there. They weren't able to get the result they wanted here, but is there no penalty, though?
Well, head coach Tim Bredger stepped out and said he wanted to decline the penalty, force 4th down now. So 4th and 5. And 4th and 5, I mean, still an opportunity for the Rangers to go for it, but looks like the coaching staff of the Eagles really believe in their defense to try to get a stop here, and North Ridgeville is going to think this thing over. They're going to take a timeout here with 1 minute and 23 seconds remaining here in this quarter. Brandon, you think that's a good decision to take the timeout and think that one over?
So I'm pretty sure that entire thing was planned, right? The coach told Miller something because Miller ran out there, he looked at the defense, and as soon as he noticed something, he pointed right at the coach for the timeout. So, they've obviously got some kind of plan here. They were looking for a specific look. Don't be surprised now if they run out that punt unit because they don't like what they're seeing from that North Olmsted front seven.
I like how you caught that there, Brandon. That's a good observation. That's how you can tell the quarterback's watching film. He's sitting there every day during school or during camp, and they're watching film. They're breaking things down. They know the looks that they like, and they know what they can do against certain looks. If they have a positive play here, I'm going to give you a crisp high five of spotting that and noticing. Or no, they're going to punt it here. Yeah, they must not like the look then. That's a good spot by you, though.
Yeah, appreciate it. It's my job. But again, we go back to the trust factor, right? Young quarterback back there. Coach trusts them to go out there and read the defense and make the right call.
This one fielded by number 4, Brady Hogg, and he is popped at the 30-yard line. So now the offense back out on the field for the Eagles, seeing if they can take a lead once again before going into the locker room. The halftime break upcoming in just over 1 minute. Of course, here at halftime on the YouTube channel for the Keon Sports High School Football Game of the Week. Of course, you're going to hear about some of our great sponsors and also a special interview coming courtesy of Dom Clary, who's sitting to my right. And, of course, you'll just have to wait and see what that will be about here, as that will come up, and we'll have that here at halftime. Eagles offense trotting out onto the field. We'll see how aggressive they want to be here with just over a minute.
Again, don't forget, they get the ball back at halftime. Wouldn't be surprised if they try to, run it a couple times, maybe throw a screen out there. But don't do anything that's going to get you in trouble.
Yeah, and fair there. And they're going to take a timeout here. They want to talk this over, make sure that they have everything set for the offense. Don't make any silly mistakes here before the end of the half. But, again, I just feel like they're going to try to do something to get some points on the board here.
I agree. And you go back to them declining that penalty on 4th and 5. Obviously, the coach has an aggressive mindset. They wanted that field position. They wanted to be able to go and attack and not just be happy getting the ball back to start the second quarter. They want to put points up on the board, and they know that they're there for the taking. Again, both teams are still really trying to find themselves. So, I hope they're aggressive here. I hope they try to push it down the field. But, again, it's tough when you're back on your own 31 and you still have it in the back of your head that you're going to have a chance to start this thing off next quarter.
So we'll see what they drew up during that timeout. Looks like we're going to see 3 wide receivers off to the far side of the field. Looks like really a tight end here on the near side, running back in the backfield. Horsfall back to pass, wants a shot deep over the middle, and that one hauled in at the 40-yard line by Lawrence Stanley. So a few completions to him here in the last 2 offensive possessions for the Eagles. Moves the chains, get to the other side of the field. Plenty of time on the clock, minute remaining.
Keep that momentum going.
Trips right again. Here's a keeper and no room to run. Bad decision pulling that one. And dropped for a huge loss. Back to the 46-yard line. And the clock continues to tick down. It's going to be a second and very long 16 yards.
Good read there by defensive back Carter Clark to go in there and break that up. And credit to North Ridgeville as a defensive unit for not allowing that completed pass to really get them off their set. And excellent way to keep North Olmsted at bay.
Horsfall and Chalkwater in the backfield. Trips right again. Back to pass, looking to the outside. That one floats up there. Defensive back tries to jump that route. Getting his hands on it and breaking up with Xavier Compton. And really a good job almost defensively for Brady Hogg, the wide receiver, to make sure that then resulted in an interception. That's
a good way to break down, get on the hip there of the wide receiver, and get your hand over without making illegal contact. That's good football. That's good coverage there. Quarterback, probably the hardest position to play, especially on defense. Did a really good job there of breaking down, riding that hip, getting his arm to hinder the ball.
Incompletion stops the clock. 22.9 seconds remaining. 3rd and 16. And the ball's out. And the Eagles able to fall on that one as Horsfall is taken down. The strip sack there. And now 16 seconds remaining here in the quarter, and it's now fourth and way longer than 16 that's shown on the scoreboard. Going to be 25 yards to go.
You know, this defensive unit for the Rangers showing that they'll bend a little bit, but they're not going to break. You know, it looked like the momentum might have been shifting a little bit in the Eagles' favor. Now all of a sudden, 4th and 25, just letting the clock run out. Great defensive stand there for North Ridgeville. You got to be happy with how this is ending.
So the question here, and we're going to have some time because I think you're going to see these teams talking things over here right now. But actually, the clock then changed from 16 seconds down to 2 seconds. We'll see if that's correct on the time. But with 2 seconds remaining, I would still say that 4th down, 25, 2 seconds left. Why not, if you're the Eagles, give a heave here? See if you can make something happen here to end the quarter. Because, I mean, even if it falls incomplete, the only thing that could really happen bad for you maybe is a strip sack that's scooped and scored, or maybe a pick six. But as long as you can find a way to prevent anything like that, there's no way that the Rangers are going to have any time if they get that football.
That's the tough thing, though. I mean, we've seen North Olmsted these last few plays. They have not been able to get anything going. Like, yeah, I understand you probably do want to take that shot down the field, and I agree with you. That's what I would do in this situation. But you got to think about your quarterback. You just almost lost a fumble a play ago. There are still things that could potentially go wrong and swing that momentum back to North Ridgeville's favor. You know, it's not super likely. But in a game that's this tight, that's this close, and so far has really, been determined by special teams and really one good offensive drive, you got to balance a lot of things in here. But I agree with you, though. I would take the shot downfield, even if it means risking, giving up that turnover.
Well, here's the other thing, Dom. I'm going to ask you this, because Horsfall hasn't had much time on the last couple of plays. Would you take the shot, or I know you're a guy who doesn't love screens, or would you just dump it down, get blockers out in front, and see if you can make something happen that way?
I'd run the ball and get into the locker room.
Okay.
No shot necessary. No, seriously,
Look at like an offensive lineman.
You don't need a shot here, because at the end of the day, there is a higher chance that a negative outcome will happen if you heave the ball down the field or a screenplay than a positive one with any relevance. I mean, there's 16 seconds. You are 4th and way too long, right? And then 16 seconds, you have to punt it now. So, because if you run the ball, they're going to have the field at the 50-yard line. They're going to take a shot. So you put the ball here.
I would almost even run it, though, because we've seen their punt unit struggle at times, too. So it's tough. 2 seconds on. Oh, they're putting 16 seconds
16
back on
now.
the clock.
That does
fair.
change.
Right call.
Yep,
right call.
that changes things a lot. Saw 2 seconds up there just a moment ago. Now 16 seconds on the clock. So now we're all in unison, in agreement. They should punt this one away. Snap is back. Punt is up. Hanging in the air. Going to be fielded close to the 30-yard line on the near side. Trying to switch fields, get out to the far side. And brought down is number 20, Carter Clark. And there's going to be just about 3 seconds remaining here. And now we get the same conversation for the Rangers. Do you want to take a shot here, or do you just want to run the ball with Barnhart?
Oh, you run the ball. Yeah, you keep the ball on the ground. You go in. There's 3 seconds. Go in the locker room. There's no harm going into the locker room with a tied ball game. And they don't have the ball first. I think North Olmsted. No, they get the ball first at half.
North Olmsted
gets ball first. Yep.
There is zero reason to take a shot here. You know what? I wouldn't even run the ball. I'll take a knee. Practice your victory formation. Take a knee. No, there's no reason to fumble the ball. There's no reason to make a possible mistake. It looks like they're going to run the ball here. This isn't the victory formation here, but I run the ball.
Well, out of the pistol. There's the snap and timeout before the snap. So the Eagles not wanting to go to the locker room quite yet. Going to talk things over and make us wait to go to the locker room, because I'm sure that was a handoff going up the middle, but coaching staff might not have liked what they saw there, and so we await what we assume to be the final play of this half.
It's hard to tell, obviously, since the play was blown dead so quickly, but it looked like Miller was getting ready to get set and throw that. So I'm wondering if the Eagles maybe saw that, not really expecting a deep pass here, and now they're going to have to go out and readjust. But maybe not going to be super surprising if instead we see Ridgeville kind of run the ball now that they know that North Olmsted's kind of on to what they're trying to do. But I think I'm kind of with Dom here. It's a tight game. This is going to be a one-possession game, it feels like. Don't go out and try to play hero ball right now. You got a young quarterback. I do believe Cole Miller has the ability to complete, a deep pass and break something open, but I don't think this is quite the time or the place.
Well, the offense for the Rangers out there on the field. The Eagles still trying to get set. Not everybody set yet. Some of the linebackers weren't in the spot they wanted to be in. Here's a run from Miller. Miller getting up the sideline. A lot of white jerseys in front of him, and he's just going to step out of bounds just past the 45-yard line. And that is going to do it for the first half. These two teams are going to go into the locker room, knotted up 7-7 on the scoreboard for week 1 of the high school football season. Of course, you're watching here on the Keon Sports YouTube channel. As you step away here at halftime, if you haven't hit the subscribe button, make sure you do. But stay tuned. Interview upcoming with Dom Clary. And, of course, you're going to hear about some of our great sponsors. We'll be back shortly.
Tonight's broadcast is brought to you by Great Lakes Training. Great Lakes Basketball caters to athletes of all ages and experience levels with a wide variety of training techniques. Book your first session today at www.greatlakesbasketball.com or email Coach J at coachj@greatlakesbasketball.com. Got You Covered Medina. Got You Covered of Medina offers affordable and high-quality blinds and shades that can completely transform the interior of your property. With affordable pricing and experts in the field of home redecorating to guide you, check them out online at www.gotchacovered.com/Medina or call them at 330-446-3647. The Gutter Boys. At the Gutter Boys, they believe there's a better way to do gutters. The gutter industry is one that is easily entered, but true professionalism is what separates them from the rest. Reach out to them today at 440-271-8847.
I'm here with Don Pope here, one of our great sponsors. Before we get into your business, you're a North Ridgeville grad and you played at defensive line at Baldwin Wallace, right?
Yeah.
So, how is it watching this team play here today with some of the past experience you had? And also, I'm a BW grad as well. I played football there, so it's nice talking to you. Yeah.
Yeah. That first half kind of frustrated me a little bit. Being that bad punt. I bet they'll be practicing that on next week for sure. They'll definitely be doing the punt over and over, but they look good. They're improving. I mean, still a young team, so I think by end of the season you'll see the real. They'll be more fluid.
Mm-hmm. And you had been excited about that defensive line play, right?
Oh,
They've been phenomenal all night
the
long.
sacks. I was like, okay, well, 7-7, and there's like 19 sacks. I'm like, okay, I'll go with that.
Now, tell us a little bit about your business here for those that may not know. They might have seen you on our website or here on one of the commercials. But for those that don't know, go into detail of what your business is and what you guys have to offer.
Well, it's a full surface facility. We have 50 yards of turf there, so you can do agility stuff, you can do stretching, you can do plyos, you can sprints, you can anything you want. With some strongman stuff. You want to flip tires, you want to pull sleds, it's all up to you. And then we have machines like the stuff you'd find at regular gyms, plate loaded. And then we have hammer strength, which is like my favorite. It's kind of like a step up from machines, but it's plate loaded, but it still kind of controls it for you. And then it's really good on your joints. It takes the stress off your joints. And then in the back, we have the, when you want to get nasty, there's the deadlift platforms, there's the squat racks, there's mono lifts, there's hack squats, there's belt squat. I mean, yeah, you can. When I was growing up out here, I had to go to 4 or 5 different gyms. Everything, it was like all, and I went to different cities, and so I was like, if I ever open up a gym, I'm going to have it all in one spot. So, at least I'll be happy. I don't have to drive all over the place.
And I know athletes benefit with that, too. I mean, I'm from Western Pennsylvania. I would drive an hour down to Pittsburgh every 2 times a week to just have an open turf indoor area where I can train in the winter. So having athletes being able to go somewhere, it's kind of centralized. You have everything you need. Now, do you guys have any special training for athletes, or do you guys have any trainers there on site,
yeah,
or do
we
you work
have-
directly with the athletes?
Yeah, we have trainers. I mean, it's a little slow now because in season, like half these guys out, it's hard to recognize them with their things on. But I'm like, is that JD? He looks bigger or looks skinnier. I'm like, I can't tell. They all have visors and stuff now. So
All the face masks are
yeah,
big.
I'm like, take your helmet off so I can see who you are. But yeah, we got a little bit of everything. So off season training, we have rehab. We got some people, had a stroke or something like that. So he's learning how to do it all over again.
Yeah.
So it's pretty humbling watching that.
Yeah.
So.
And probably inspiring for others as well. Now, even if you weren't an athlete, you talked about you guys do rehab as well. Could an ordinary person walk into the gym and be a member as well?
Oh, yeah. That's 90% of our – I mean, we have 80-year-old people work out there. And some of the – I mean, I think Terry's a 200-pound deadlifter now. She's up, so it's all ages,
Yeah.
They usually come morning time. The kids all flock together, and they got little groups. But yeah, it's all for everybody.
Now, one last question here for you: how can someone sign up, and how easy is it for someone to sign up and be a member and get in the gym immediately?
You can sign up online. You can come in and just look around. I'll sign you up at the front desk, but you can even look online at all the pictures and sign yourself up. Which. Probably better because I'm slow on the computer and it'll save like 10 minutes of your life.
Well, it's better they do it themselves, right?
Yes.
Well, that's it for the interview here. I appreciate you coming up here
thanks,
and talking to us. It was a pleasure. And we'll have a second half report here for you shortly after these ads. All right, well, welcome to the Hinckley Roofing halftime show. I'm Dominic Clary, the color commentator here. I have some score updates for you. This one here is 7-7, as you know, but we have a few games far and wide we have scores for. Avon, they are shellacking Brunswick 35-0 here. No surprise to some, though Brunswick is a team that we like to follow. We had high expectations for, not the start of the first half that they want. Let's see if they can turn around in the second half. Hudson and Highland, they're in a classic right now. It's 14-14 here in the second half. Two teams that had high expectations last year, and we're looking to see if they can build onto that and continue their great seasons. Right now, it looks like both teams are poised to have good seasons with a 14-14 score. Medina here leading 28-3 against Stowe. This is a Medina team that has a lot of good returners. The team that we will follow here next week as they take on Olentangy. Yeah, that may not be a surprise to you, but that defense, they are suffocating Stowe so far. Could be a surprising score, a matchup that we saw, I believe, last year at the beginning of the season. It was Avon Lake and Strongsville. Avon Lake, they lost a few people. Strongsville, they're building on a young quarterback, and they're looking to see if this can be the season that they can be one of the top teams in their conference. It's 7-7 there in the second half. Berea Mid-Park, they were leading 15-13, but the score just changed. Cleveland Heights now has the lead, 19-15. This could be a surprise here. I know for us, you never know what to expect from Berea Mid-Park year in and year out. But Cleveland Heights, they just took the lead. You can follow that along. We have some writers there to follow us on Twitter. And then Valdust is beating Massillon 14-0. That could be a surprise. It's one of the games that I statewide is being followed. I know that we have a writer there as well. I would say surprising result here for Massillon, not being able to put any points on the board here so far. We go down to Canton in the first quarter. Glen Oak is losing to Cincy Western Hills. Glen Oak have a few products that have gone up here for college and have done well. Padua, they're beating Holy Name here in the second quarter, 7-0. Padua had a good year last year. So did Holy Name. I know they've lost a few people, seeing if they can recover. And the last score we have will go down to Youngstown for Cardinal Mooney versus Lake Catholic. Cardinal Mooney, the Youngstown Beast, is beating Lake Catholic 21-14 there in the second quarter. That's it for me here from the Hinckley Roofing halftime show. We'll see you here in the second half. Make sure to check our Twitter for more score updates across Northeast Ohio.
Tonight's broadcast is brought to you by Helene Kia. Looking for a new or used car? Check out our guy Jim McConville at Helene Kia in North Olmsted on Lorraine Road. Jim is a member of the auto community for the last 20 years and will treat you right no matter your car buying need. He's an expert at new and used car deals, including trade-ins and financing. Hinckley Roofing. They are your first choice in commercial or residential roofing. This family-run company has been around for 50 years and is your first choice in trusted roofing needs. You can find them online today at hinkleyroofing.com or call them at 330-273-2979, as they use only the best products on the market to get the job done right every single time. JBL Roofing and Construction. JBL is a licensed, bonded, and insured contractor with the experience to complete any job needed for your home or property. Let their team of professionals help you with vinyl siding, windows, roofing, and gutters. Get the job done right the first time and stress-free with JBL. Call them today at 330-677-9463 or visit them on the web at jblrc.com. Jenny's Popcorn. You can find their flavors anywhere popcorn is sold, including Giant Eagle and Mark's. Visit them online at jennyspopcorn.com or in person at 38727 Taylor Parkway in North Ridgeville, Ohio. They have everything from butter, cheese, caramel, and everything in between at this popcorn paradise. Kelly McLean Achievement Center, the premier resource for high school athletes who wish to continue to play in college. They provide a one-on-one consultative approach to help students determine their needs and goals. Visit them online at kellymac.com. Laura Bosworth. Buying and selling a home can be stressful. You need a kind, caring realtor who puts her clients first. Consult with full-time area expert Laura Sirigliano Bosworth with Century 21 Homestar and the 21 Mike team. Call or text 440-552-1904 or email Laura at laura@21mike.com.
Makeaway Dumpster. At Makeaway, customers get discounts on days and prices. They offer 24-hour delivery in most cases, along with 10, 15, 20, and 25 cubic yard containers. With Makeaway, there are no hidden charges for drop-off, pickup, or wait. Find them at makeawaydumpsterrental.com.
Mangiabella Italian Goods. If you love Italian food like we do, then you need to swing over to Mangiabella Italian Goods at 22560 Lorraine Road in Fairview. This family-run business knows that a happy belly is a full belly. From vintage homemade pasta to meatball subs the size of your head, you will be in a food lover's paradise. You've tried the rest, now have the best.
MDG Flooring. If you're in need of quality flooring for your home or office, look no further than MDG Flooring America in Medina. There is nothing that Steve and his talented staff cannot handle. Call them today at 330-725-5252 or stop in and visit them in person at 3812 Pearl Road in Medina.
My 22 Veterans. Mission 22 provides support to veterans and their families when they need it most, right now. Through a comprehensive approach of outreach, events, and programs, we're promoting long-term wellness and sustainable growth. Visit them today at mission22.com. My Medicare Network. My Medicare Network is a local insurance agency that specializes in helping seniors compare and enroll into a Medicare insurance plan. They represent all major carriers, which will save you time and frustration. And when working with My Medicare Network, you'll be confident you selected the best plan for your needs.
Nancy's Main Street Diner. They only prepare your meals with the freshest ingredients. The dishes are made to order as they never use heat lamps and they take no shortcuts whatsoever. They're located at 426 Main Street in Grafton, Ohio. Nancy's Main Street Diner is your choice for all 3 daily meals.
Pope Fitness. It's a gym for everyone. Don's road to being a World's Strongest Man finalist gave him a deep appreciation for fitness at every level. He created Pope Fitness to help every individual reach their goals and maintain the motivation it takes to get there. Visit them today at 33789 Center Ridge Road in North Ridgeville. Pristine Clean, Ohio. Pristine Clean has one goal: to be the best power washing company in Northeast Ohio. The commitment began in 2008 when owner Ken Wilson founded the company, which has since grown into one of the largest locally owned and operated power washing companies in the nation. Give them a call at 440-209-3780.
Second half is about to get underway here from University Hospital's Ranger Stadium. Just under a minute before the second half kickoff. Again, you're watching the Keon Sports High School Football Game of the Week here, Week 1 on the YouTube channel. Shout out to Dom Clary, one of the guys here on the broadcast crew tonight, for a great job during halftime going over some of the local score updates as well as his interview. And always thank you to all the sponsors of Keon Sports, as you heard about them here during halftime as well. Well, this one here between North Ridgeville and North Olmsted is certainly a sloppy but interesting first quarter. Low scoring as North Olmsted hopped out to a 7-0 lead courtesy of a blocked punt, scoop and score for Logan Dangerfield. And then the second quarter is when North Ridgeville got things up and running again, a little bit offensively, got some movement with Zach Barnhart, the running back, and that's where we sit, knotted up at 7-7. Again, Cole McDaniel here, Dom Clary, and Brandon Soder. Brandon, your thoughts on that first half before we get the second half underway?
You know, despite it being knotted up at 7-7, it really feels like the momentum has kind of shifted towards the North Ridgeville Rangers. It didn't start off well. A couple crucial special teams mistakes gave, North Olmsted some offensive opportunities, got them, that early touchdown on a scoop and score. But they really did a good job settling in, specifically on the defensive side of the ball. They've really rooted themselves. They made it very difficult for North Olmsted and Tommy Horsfall to get anything going. So, we might be tied right now. Their offense may not be clicking on all cylinders quite yet, but still, North Ridgeville with an impressive showing to end that first half. And I expect them to come out with some real intensity here.
Well, Dom, right at the end of the half, we saw North Olmsted actually be able to move the ball a little bit offensively. Really, Dangerfield running the ball had 2 really big carries, and then the drive stalled out. Horsfall hasn't had much time back there in the pocket. Did deliver a couple of completions to Lawrence Stanley, but aside from that, not a ton for the offense. As momentum, like Brandon has said, is probably swinging the way of the North Ridgeville Rangers. If you're North Olmsted, what do you have to do as you get the ball first here in the second half to really get momentum going back your way?
Well, first you need to figure out what your offensive line has to do differently and put them in a position to win. What I mean by that is right now you have outstanding pressure, and they're not picking it up well. And that's fine. If you have 6 people running, there's going to be one guy who's not picked up. But they need to locate where's that pressure coming from, how do we stop that, and how can we make it where that pressure is blocked out by the run, or we could block it out with a pass or keep a running back there. If they can figure that out, they can start moving the ball more consistently. But right now they're relying on chunk plays, 20 yards, 30 yards, 40 yards, and they're not getting enough of those. Right now, Horsfall is 2 for 7 with 44 yards. That's not going to do it there. He has 8 rushes. Only 2 of them went positive. So he has not been able to get a consistency going. They want to get him more comfortable back there. When you have all those 5 incompletions and you only gone positive twice while running the ball, it's not a formula where you're going to win. But they have got, he had a 39-yard pass. How can you do that more? How can you find people open? You got to start the run game up. The run game has not been there at all. Doesn't matter if he's running it or if it's Logan Dangerfield.
Yeah, and as you're talking about the offensive line of North Olmsted needing to step it up, a lot of why they've maybe had some difficulty, some struggles, is because of the defensive front of North Ridgeville. They have some big bodies up there. You have Christian Inslee, as well as the big defensive tackle, that nose tackle, Shane Osborne, and Noah Pearson. Those 3 guys have been clogging running lanes as well as penetrating into the backfield and making it difficult for Horsfall to have any time. Also, don't forget, you do have Carson Mattis, who's really that stand-up outside linebacker who has not been afraid to blitz and has also wreaked a little bit of havoc as well. Before we get the second half kickoff underway, a reminder that, of course, over the next 2 days, you're going to see a lot of written articles going up on the Keon Sports website. Go to keonsports.com to make sure you pay attention to all those well over 20 games we have writers at this season, again, covering each and every single week. So make sure to pay attention to those articles going up late Friday night into Saturday morning. Also, another addition here this year. The cool thing is our YouTube channel, not just the Keon Sports Game of the Week. and not just those wonderful highlight packages from our guy Tony Bogan, who always does a great job every single year. We actually have multiple guys who are going to be out at games putting together video highlight packages. Expect a couple of those every single week. So a lot of content going up on the YouTube channel. So like I said, if you haven't hit the subscribe button, go ahead, do that right before the second half kickoff.
You know, if you're a high school football fan, one thing I always noticed that I struggled with before Keon Sports was trying to find scores, trying to find highlights, try to see what's going on. You're popping between 3, 4, 5 different sites. Guys, I know we say it a lot. This is your central hub for all high school sports, KeonSports.com.
Second half kickoff. This one, a low line drive fielded at the 9-yard line. Dangerfield trying to switch the field, getting out around the outside, cutting back, makes one man miss and tripped up past the 25-yard line, and it looks like he's going to be marked down right at the 27, and that is where the Eagles offense takes the field. And a reminder that all kicks, sacks, and turnovers in this game have been brought to you by Hinckley Roofing. Check them out online at hinkleyroofing.com. So the sun has set, the lights are on, lights shining off of that beautiful field down there here at Ranger Stadium. Opening play of the second half is absolutely nothing for that offense of the Eagles. Tommy Horsfall decided to keep it, tried to get outside to the right, and he's wrapped up back close to the 20-yard line. And that's another big defensive play for the Rangers, as we were wondering and seeing if momentum would start swinging the way of the Eagles, but that first play keeps momentum going the way of the Rangers.
Yeah, and that's exactly what you didn't want to see. The same thing that was plaguing them at the end of that first half, just pressure they're not able to pick up.
2nd and 17 from the 20-yard line, 2 in the backfield with Horsfall. Takes the snap, hands it off, and the running backs trip each other up. Dangerfield gets the carry, and the other running back actually was a little bit late. Dangerfield beat him in front, and I wonder if the other running back was supposed to get out there for the block. I do believe that was Ardeen Roman, actually the tight end lined up in the backfield, and Dangerfield just beat him that spot, and that's, I don't think we can quite count that as a tackle on the stat sheet for Roman, but took down his own teammate, a loss of 1, 3rd and 18. Trips left, Dangerfield to the left of Horsfall. Watch for Lawrence Stanley to the far side of the field. A lot of his action has come when he's been by himself. Keeper here for Horsfall on the option, and there was really nothing there. The Rangers did a great job taking away Dangerfield. No pitch, no choice for Horsfall. Another loss, and that is 3 negative plays for the Eagles offense and a very quick 3 and out.
Tell me if you guys are seeing the same thing. It looks like North Olmsted's coming out nervous, maybe even more nervous than they were to start this game off. I mean, again, the mistake with the running backs kind of tripping over each other. You need a bigger play downfield. The rollout just wasn't really working there for Horsfall. Kind of concerning to see the Eagles come out like that.
Yeah, again, the offensive line, they're still struggling. There's just too much pressure, too many helmets, and they can't match them.
This one a high punt. Fair catch signaled at the 48-yard line, and the Rangers going to start in Eagles territory. So on the right side of the football field here, and again, pretty good field position. And actually, that's what we've seen. The Rangers, as the game's gone on, they started getting better and better field position, and they started seeing their success when they started getting the ball on the other side of the field. We'll see if they can actually break this deadlock here with their opening offensive possession of the half. 2 in the backfield with Miller. Here's the handoff. Steinmetz has some space, room to run up the middle, and he gets tripped up at the 16-yard line. If he was able to make one more man miss, he was going to take that one to the house. What a great call on that opening play. As you saw number 17, Ryan Anderson, go in motion. It was handed to him, then he flipped it on the reverse to Steinmetz, and that was a really tight reverse. And the blocking was out ahead, and that is a massive chunk play. 1st and 10 from the 16.
Beautifully executed there. Again, he's one of those players that you can put him almost anywhere on the field, and you expect a positive result. He's that good.
Barnhart, the carry. finding a little bit of space, churning forward, taking down at the 12-yard line, gain of 4. And a reminder that this trip to the red zone has been brought to you by Kelly McLean Achievement Center. Visit kelly-mac.com to learn more.
And what we're seeing, guys, it feels like compared to where we were at the start of this game, one team has settled in, one team has not. North Olmsted is still trying to kind of find their way and figure out how to really get their offense and defense under control. North Ridgeville really feels like they're finally clicking.
There's a clap of the hand and a handoff. No, instead, a late pull there for Miller. Right decision as Barnhart was up ahead of him. He got some blocks. Thought Barnhart was going to take that football there from Miller, but Miller able to pull that out. Really almost had to fight that one back from Barnhart. And Miller's able to barrel down inside the 5-yard line, and it's a 1st and goal at the 4.
Huge opportunity here for North Ridgeville. We talk about momentum. They came out with it. Chance to go up 14-7 in a game where points have been very hard to come by.
Cole Miller. And the pistol set. Barnhart now motions to his right. Here's the handoff. Not much room is spun down quickly as Barnhart. No gain on the carry. 2nd goal upcoming. 8 minutes remaining in the 3rd quarter.
This run game here, it's dynamic. It doesn't matter if they have Miller running the ball, Barnhart, Steinmetz. They're able to distribute it on the ground. Again, it is a spread, more of a pistol, I would say. Yeah, this is a pistol look. So there's only so many people you can give the ball at, so many options when it comes to running, but they use all of them.
Steinmetz in motion, the handoff to Barnhart. He gets positive yardage, that's for sure, but not going to be enough to get to the end zone, so going to be a yard short. And it's going to be 3rd and goal from the 1-yard line. And when you have a running back like Barnhart in the backfield, I would have to say they're probably going to give him the rock once again here.
I mean, I certainly would. I mean, you need less than a yard to go. He's your go-to guy. Feed the man.
Here's the carry. Barnhart looks like he might have been stopped short, but he was falling forward. And the official comes in and says he maybe gained half a yard. So we have really 4th and inches from the goal line there. And looks like a helmet came off for one of the big offensive linemen. That's number 54, J.D. Radaway, who has to come out for a play.
And that could potentially hurt. You don't have, your best 5 guys in there. Look for them running up the middle again, though.
There's the snap, and we have some movement on the line, and that's actually going to be against the Eagles. They jumped early, really knew where that was going. They knew it was going to go up the middle once again, tried to get a head start.
Solid half a yard pickup.
Yeah, if that, maybe a couple inches.
I mean, that helps. It's 4th and goal. Listen, if I only have to I mean, I'll tell you what. On goal line situations, I hated them because now you really don't know who you're blocking. You're kind of just trusting the gap that you're supposed to be in and hoping that the running back is right behind you and in the end zone. They need the push. Get on your toes now.
Feel the rumble from the fans in the stands down below us. The handoff to Barnhart, and he stopped short. Tried to keep the legs churning, and coming in for the tackle was Matthew Chalkwater. Went low, wrapped up the legs, and Barnhart fell sideways instead of forwards. Nothing he could do there. Great defensive stand from the Eagles, and it's still 7-7 on the scoreboard.
I mean, come on. I mean, these defenses, man, they're holding strong. I mean, this is enjoyable to watch. I mean, at least for me, I love the frontline battles. Give me a 14-7 game any day of the week, especially at this level. I mean, so many times we're seeing games in the 30s, right, or in the 40s. I mean, last year we had a few games like that. Hey, put the ball on the ground. You know, let's see the turf fly up in the air, get a little dirty out there. That's what I like to see.
So now the big question is, the ball's at the 2-yard line now. North Olmsted has gone backwards multiple plays in a row. Can they get some positive gains here? They're going to throw from the back of the end zone over the middle. Dangerous, and that one intercepted at the 20-yard line. And wow, immediately after making a huge stop on 4th down, backed up against your own end zone. A gutsy call to throw it over the middle, and Tommy Horsfall directly into the arms of Xavier Compton.
I don't understand that. I do not understand that. I understand that it's been tough to get any kind of push off the line. But where you've been struggling the most is giving your quarterback enough time to throw. He actually had the space there to do it, but I still don't understand the call. Try to get out of your own end zone, run the ball up the middle. You've had a little bit of success, at least, with Dangerfield. Man, really tough to see for North Olmsted.
So the Rangers back in action once again, and they go to the same play again. This time it's handed off to number 17, Ryan Anderson. Not the same success we saw on the last time the play was run to Steinmetz, but once again, 2 drives in a row, the Rangers run that same play, that little tight reverse there. And Dom's over here loving it.
I don't even know if you could call that a reverse. I mean, that's a little flashy is what I like to call that. I mean, it's, you know what's funny? It's almost something that I would expect to see from Olmsted Falls.
Yeah.
I mean, where you have the two runners just flipping the ball back and forth. Oh, God, that's exciting.
Looking to throw, short pass completed to Steinmetz, and he's drugged down out of bounds up right around the 5-yard line. So we're going to do it again. 1st and goal from the 5. 4 runs the last time that the Rangers were in this exact same spot. They were not able to get into the end zone. Will they just go to the ground and try to pound it in again, or are they going to try to do something a little different here?
Oh, you go back to formula, right? You get your wedge going, and you see how far your offensive line can take you. Though 17 is pretty much unguarded there. You can do a little out route there.
Barnhart in motion. Here's the keeper. Miller sees some space, and he's going to walk into the corner of the end zone. And it's a lead now for the Rangers. They started the game down 7-0. Get their first lead of the season, first lead on the night, 13-7. PAT about to ensue.
You know, you like the misdirection. You keep that left side completely open, and you almost make it think where, hey, they're going to go to the left side here, or the defense's right side. For sure, they have to. And then, boom, quarterback takes it. Beautiful edge blocking, a little bit of outside zone blocking schemes there. Get outside of the defensive ends and get running. Just run. That's exactly what that offensive line did. They sealed off the edge. And Miller, he's dancing pretty in the end zone. The quarterback who we didn't expect to see tonight, cool. I'd say he looks mighty fine right now in the quarterback position, especially making the right decisions and running the ball. Now, again, passing, it has been all fine and dandy, but he hasn't had many negative plays. I'd say the young man, the sophomore, he's doing pretty good from the way I see it.
Well, Cole Miller starting to settle in, certainly, and making the right decisions on who to give the ball to or deciding to keep it himself. That time decided to take it into the end zone himself, and that is why the Rangers currently hold the lead to 14-7 right now. And the Eagles, they haven't had much of anything going since that first quarter. Matter of, can they get the tides to turn? Interesting call to throw that one from the back of the end zone there. Ball was on the 2-yard line and ended up resulting in a turnover. And we'll see if they go back to the ground game with Dangerfield here on this drive. 5.5 minutes left to go in the third quarter. DeShazo about set to kick this one away. Of course, his PAT was good once again for the second time tonight. 3 guys back to return right about the 10-yard line for the Eagles. This one up in the air, fielded at the 9-yard line. Dangerfield once again. Every time he's fielded it, he's tried to get to the outside of the field. Helmet ripped off, and that is going to be an easy call there. Should be a face mask, and hopefully Dangerfield's okay. Coaching staff walking out on the field, trying to get the white jerseys back, as maybe a little bit of pushing and shoving, some jawing from both of these teams after that play.
And not a face mask so much as an entire helmet. Not sure if there's any difference in designation for that, but whew, that's tough. And if you're North Ridgeville, I mean, things are going really well for you right now, but still a one-score game. We got to try to limit the mistakes. This is not the time to start to get chippy. Don't try to, don't give North Olmsted any unnecessary advantages right now.
Well, I am glad to see Dangerfield up and walking off under his own power and seems to be okay, because when that helmet was ripped off, I mean, he was still running, so he was up and Then there was a crowd of tacklers, so taken down in the middle of that pile again without a helmet. Again, that could go really bad out there on the field, so fortunate that he seems to be okay. Officials gathered around right now talking things over, but this should be an easy call for them. I actually think there's probably about 4 penalty markers still laying on the ground right now, somewhere between the 25 and the 18-yard line. So a brief pause in the action here. So Dom, I mean, you talked a little bit about some of the scores, giving us some updates here at halftime. I know you're taking a look here. Any scores of note that have changed, or has everything stayed about the same from what you're seeing?
Let me update this, because some of the quarters are still the same. I mean, Avon is still shellacking Brunswick right now. Cleveland Heights, they have an 11-point lead right now, 32-21 against Bray Mid-Park. But, even if they do lose that game, my hat's off to Bray Mid-Park. That Cleveland Heights last year went against Brunswick and slaughtered them. First game of the year, Bray Mid-Park, that's not what's happening here today. It's nice to see. Maybe Bray Mid-Park, this might be their year to compete in the SWC.
Yeah, in week 4, we're going to see Cleveland Heights at Brunswick. And, of course, not too long after that, into the season, we are going to obviously see Berea Mid-Park as well as they take on Midview. And so we've got a couple games coming up with both of those teams. So looking forward to that later here in our schedule. Of course, next week we're going to talk about later tonight as well, but we will be at Medina, and Brandon will touch on that in the post-game show. Of course, the matchup there and the implications with that one.
Another one real quick, Austintown Fitch. They're only beating Euclid by 7. This Austintown Fitch team is one of the best in the state. They lost one of the, I believe, the #1 recruit in the state. He had to transfer out for whatever reason. That's been big news down there at Youngstown. So Euclid, maybe we could see a team competing there in the league with Medina and Menor and Brunswick. That would be a fun one.
Well, Euclid had a tough season last year. I believe only 1 win on their record last year, if I am correct on that. So hopefully for them, that is a good implication for what's to come this season.
I have one more for you. Holy Name. They're up now 9-7. That's a very Sickos-like score. If you don't know what a sicko is, that's just mayhem on the scoreboard. Absolutely love it. Just the insanity of football. 9-7. That's an odd score, but boy, do I love it.
So after that got sorted out by the officials, the Eagles have the ball at the 47-yard line, 1st and 10, handoff on the opening play of getting us started back here after the little brief intermission. Handoff going by way of Matthew Chalkwater because Logan Dangerfield had to be out for a play, but he might be getting checked out on the sideline a little bit longer than that because of the situation. So Chalkwater remains in the backfield with Horsfall, 2nd and 7 from the 50. Here's a handoff once again. Chalkwater keeping the legs churning. He's going to get past the 45-yard line to the 44. Going to bring up a 3rd and short.
I like the way Chalkwater ran the ball there. Read the tackle and the guard. Went off the butt there. Was able to read the movement. Find a spot that he likes. Smart player. It's quick, shifty. Let's see what we can get from him here.
Here's the handoff once again. Chalkwater finds some space. And if it weren't for the tackle there of Austin DeShazo, I got to say, I think Chalkwater might have been gone. Was turned on the jets, hitting that 2nd gear, and just brought down, tripped up by the ankles.
Interesting to see now if maybe this North Ridgeville front that has been so dominant so far starting to get worn down a little bit. Again, North Olmsted continues to run the ball. Finally, a nice chunk run there. Let's see if they keep that going.
From the 36, back to pass. This one floated up in the direction of Lawrence Stanley, and just a little bit too long there. Tommy Horsfall got on the back foot and sailed that one past a wide open receiver streaking down the sideline on the far side.
Just run the ball. I mean, you may have found something here in Matt Chalkwater here. Keep running. The young man has some speed. Almost reminds me of Le'Veon Bell. I always have to mention a Steeler on these broadcasts. The way that he kind of picks his spot and then boom, hits that short burst to hit the hole. Keep feeding him the ball.
2nd and 10 following the incompletion. Here's a handoff up the middle. Finding a little bit of space to make this a 3rd and manageable. is Logan Dangerfield. Good to see him back in the game. He got the carry there. Have to say, even though you want them to go to the run once again with Chalkwater, if that one's on the money and inbounds, I mean, we're looking at a tie ball game, 14-14, because Lawrence Stanley would have taken that one to the house. Here's the snap. Hand off to Chalkwater. Finds a little bit of space to get up to the 30-yard line, but not nearly enough to get the first down, but have to assume that at this spot on the field, this is 4-down territory.
Oh, absolutely. But I'll tell you what, I like the two running back look. That's my favorite formation in football. Because if you have the right running back combo, they can block for each other. You can have that triple option look. It makes you more dynamic in the backfield. Sure, there's a less tight end or there's a less wide receiver. Who cares? Let's put a running back there and let's boom right up the field. Let's do some fancy stuff back there. Let's fool the defense. This is a development that can help this team if they can get the first down here and build off of it.
4th and 4. Here's a handoff, and that one's not going anywhere. The defensive front of the Rangers stepped up to the task once again, and that's a turnover on downs. And the Rangers are going to securely hold their lead right now, at least for a little bit longer in this game.
Man, is it a bad day to be 4th and short. Right, these defenses are coming up when they need to right now, and you talk about settling in, you talk about figuring yourself out, but when you get into those short yardage situations where you know the ball is going to be ran, there's nothing settling down about that. That is just man versus man. Who has, more will, who's going to win that trench battle, and so far it's been all defense when it's come to those short situations.
Back to pass is Miller. Miller wants to take a shot. This one, I think his arm was hit, but he floats it up, and Steinmetz catches it, makes a man miss, cutting to the outside, and tripped up past the 40-yard line. A big play down at the 38. And I see a penalty marker on the far side of the field now. And it does look like there's an Eagle that's down on the field, maybe cramping up. But we'll see who this penalty is against. It looked like it might have been something that happened after the play ended, though.
Cool. I'm feeling it now. Hype me up. It's short, right? The throw got his arm hit, right? Not far enough. But Steinmetz is that good. That's how you know you have a player on your hands who can change the game if you can just put the ball in his hands. He changes direction, finds open field. There might not be an open field, Cole. He'll find it, though. That's how good this kid is. Feed him the ball. Make him your main player here on top of the running action you have here with Barnhart here and with Miller. And this is going back, so now my energy's gone. You got to be kidding me. That play get me excited. But hey, this is a good break here if you're a supporter of North Olmsted Eagles here, because now, okay, right, not as big as a gain here. Let's settle down now. Let's focus on stopping this run. Safeties. Hey. Be the deepest man. You can't allow this again. You can take a breath now.
So because of the positive play, still gained some yards for the Rangers, but it's like an unsportsmanlike penalty after the play ended. So backed it up past the 50-yard line. 2.5 minutes remaining here in the third quarter. Hand off to Barnhart, and no room there to run. As he stopped, it's going to be a 2nd and 10 now from the 47.
If you're going to have a negative, a non-positive play on first down, no yards. That's fine. I mean, 2nd and 10, we've been there, done that before if you're the Rangers. So now you got to settle back, figure out what second and long play you like, so you can maybe have a 3rd and medium or 3rd and short opportunity, not trying to get it all back at once.
Receiver in motion on the jet sweep. Handoff to Anderson. Anderson dropping that shoulder into the defensive back there, taken down at the 45-yard line. Going to be 3rd and much more manageable. About 3 yards to go.
Not only are we seeing the offense really start to come together for North Ridgeville, we're starting to see that playbook expand a little bit too. I know you made that comment on the North Olmsted side that it seemed like they were a little bit limited, a little bit, having a hard time kind of getting set with it. But we're seeing, Cole Miller throwing the ball more. We're seeing, some of these more creative runs and rollouts and things like that. So really nice to see the playbook really starting to come alive for the Rangers.
Yeah, it was almost like the Rangers coaching staff was trying to just get their feet wet, get the players settled in. And there's another mental mistake there from the defensive front of the Eagles as they jumped off sides. I believe that's the third time they've jumped off sides in this game, and that's going to result now in a first down for the Rangers. Move the chains.
So I'd like to spotlight the left, I believe it's the left tackle here, number 54, J.D. Radaway. I mean, he's getting the edge, he's getting outside, and he's able to seal off the opposite number 56 there for the Eagles and make sure that there's space to run. Beautiful, that's been open all day.
Handoff. Barnhart shrugs off a defender, but immediately brought down. A gain of 2 yards there on that carry. And we're down to 30 seconds remaining here in the third quarter, so we'll see if there's really only probably about half a second difference between the game clock and the play clock right now. So I think they're just going to have to run another play here. So it should be the last play of the quarter. Here's a handoff to Steinmetz. Steinmetz has a lot of space, breaking through the middle of the field, and he's going to take this one into the end zone. So the last offensive play of the third quarter for the Rangers results in a big touchdown run for Charlie Steinmetz. Dom said it earlier, give Steinmetz the football, 20-7 Rangers.
You know, if you're lucky, you have one player like that on your squad. I was lucky I had a few when I was playing, and I had a lot when I was at Baldwin Wallace. Steinmetz is a guy that it doesn't matter what team you put him on in the SWC or any league across Northeast Ohio, he is one of those guys. He is a guy that in the scout report, you have someone wearing his jersey on that scout team. That's how good he is. Utilize him, utilize him, utilize him. This kid is special, and you saw it right there. 39 yards to the house there for Steinmetz.
PAT was up and good once again for Austin DeShazo. 3 for 3 on PATs on the night. It's 21-7. Just 5.9 seconds up on the scoreboard right now remaining in this quarter. So we're going to see the kickoff here, and we will see after the kickoff if we get one more play before we move to the fourth and final quarter of the opening game of the high school football regular season here in 2023.
And credit to the North Ridgeville coaching staff there. I mean, in a game like this where things have been so tight and it's been hard to score one possession game for most of this, they could have very easily tried to run that clock down as much as possible, holding on to a little bit of a lead, just run one more play, get you to the next quarter, but stayed a little bit aggressive and, you know, broke off a huge run. And now they've really taken control of this game. North Olmsted has yet to put up an offensive touchdown, and now you got to hope for 2 of them in a quarter.
Here's the kick. Low line drive. Fielded at the 6-yard line. Hogg looking to switch the field. Spinning past one man up around the 20-yard line, and that's going to do it for the third quarter. The Rangers with a 21-7 lead over the Eagles will step aside here. Fourth quarter upcoming on the Keon Sports YouTube channel.
Tonight's broadcast is brought to you by Pulp North Olmsted. From wraps to bowls to smoothies and everything in between, this is the perfect healthy option for the person on the go. Stop in and taste for yourself at 27650 Lorraine Road in North Olmsted. Riley's Irish Bakery, the absolute best bakery and comfort food selection you will find on the west side of town. Located in the heart of Fairview, this incredible family-run business is your first, last, and only stop for the best eats. At Riley's Irish Bakery, they use the freshest ingredients to create classic Irish baked goods and savories. They are located at 22570 Lorraine Road in Fairview.
Back for the fourth and final quarter of this Week 1 matchup between the North Ridgeville Rangers and the North Olmsted Eagles. And as I mentioned right before we wrapped up that third quarter, that score from the Rangers makes it 21-7. The Eagles need to get something going here on this drive. And the offense back out on the field for them. Hogg in motion. Snap to Horsfall. Dropping back, looking to pass, throwing off his back foot, floats this over the middle, and that one intercepted by Brett Leinherth. Leinherth, the junior, just reading the eyes of the quarterback, and that's multiple times that you can tell Horsfall hasn't felt comfortable. He's gone onto his back foot and was falling back, and that's how he wasn't able to get enough pace on that one, enough zip to get over the defender and find his guy, who actually did have a pocket in the middle of the field.
Crazy thing, and Dom, maybe you speak on this a little bit, both of the times we've seen Horsfall really struggle and throw interceptions, he's had time. I feel like almost getting into his own head. He's waiting for that pressure. He's seeing ghosts a little bit, and he's just not getting comfortable back there. He had plenty of time to set up and either try to find someone or throw that ball out. And now 2 times in that exact situation, he's given up the football.
I mean, that's a good read there by the defense. He's on his back foot. That's the number one issue. There's no zip on the ball. Back foot, no zip.
And the first play following the turnover for the Rangers is a handoff to Barnhart, and Barnhart got some help from his O-line. They got behind the big running back, and he churned his way forward nearly 9 yards. They're officially going to mark it as an 8-yard gain. 2nd and 2, ball at the 32-yard line. What a nice run, and really you're starting to see the Rangers impose their will. By the way, a reminder, after that turnover, all kicks, sacks, and turnovers in this game have been brought to you by Hinckley Roofing. Check them out online at hinkleyroofing.com. Handoff up the middle. Once again, that's going to be enough to move the chains. Barnhart, 2 yards there.
There's running it straight up the middle. It's feeling a little bit like this Ridgeville line has really started to break down the will of the Eagles.
And one thing that's nice about their formation, they run a pistol. You have the running back, move him to the left, kind of a stagger to the left, stagger to the right. But they like keeping Barnhart right there behind Cole Miller. And what that does is it allows them to get that downhill action that you would see in an I formation or a power formation. So when you have a running back that can kind of get a head start rather than sidestep and go, it allows him to be more downhill. Now, again, it gives you less time to read the play a little bit because you're a little closer there to the line of scrimmage. But look, the pistol formation is one of my favorite. It's a quick hitter, and it allows the run game to really flourish.
Back to pass. Miller instead going to take off with this himself. Trying to beat one man. He slips by that tackler and runs out of bounds right up around the 15-yard line. Going to be marked out at the 17 is exactly where he stepped out. So first down once again, move the chains. And this trip to the red zone has been brought to you by Kelly McLean Achievement Center. Visit kelly-mac.com to learn more.
Now, you might think, logic tells you you're up 2 scores. We're already in the 4th quarter. The opposing offense hasn't been able to do much. Just keep running the ball. But I don't mind them putting it in Cole Miller's hands. Again, he's a young quarterback. He's settling in. He's gotten better as this game has gone along. And, they're continuing to give him opportunities to show what he can do.
Yeah, and right now, North Ridgeville just going to seal this thing off. This thing's all but over now. As you mentioned just a moment ago, imposing the will. And Charlie Steinmetz finds the end zone once again. Keep giving that guy the ball, because he's going to put 6 up on the board. Number 6 for 6 again, 27-7.
I mean, come on. That play, such a quick hitter. Misdirection, Steinmetz right up the gut. 18 yards. He's quick. It doesn't matter how close you are to him. You're not touching him. That's just, North Ridgeville has figured it out. And I'll tell you what, I think at that first half we were kind of looking at each other thinking, this is not the team that we thought we'd see, but right now, they're exactly who we thought they were, and we didn't let them off the hook, right? So right now this team, I think they're starting to click. They're figuring out their offense. I think that the second half adjustments that the coaches made, the players have responded really well. This is a team that's hitting their stride here in this first game. This is exactly how you want your first game to go. Your SWC schedule, it's really tough, and we speak about that. Amherst Steel, usually a team that's beat every year by a team like North Ridgeville. They're winning 27-21. They're a team that's going to be in the same spot you are. It's a team that you're trying to jump past as you jump to the top of the SWC. Right now, North Ridgeville, I mark them on your schedule if they're in your town.
Yeah,
because this is a good team, and they're showing that here today.
By the way, that would be huge for Amherst Steel, of course. Winless last season, went 0-10. That could be a win for them to start off the year. That'd be huge for them. Give them really a spark, some motivation. Now, we know that Avon, they're obviously that team in the SWC that everybody's really looking up to right now. Avon Lake typically has a very strong squad. And some years some years they're really good, some years they're pretty good, okay? But regardless, they're going to be up there towards the top. Olmsted Falls, I'm sure they're taking probably a little bit of a downtick from last year. They lost some really good players, but I would expect Olmsted Falls football still is going to be tough, still going to be physical. Berea Mid-Park, obviously holding pretty tough against Cleveland Heights tonight. And, of course, then you have this Rangers team, and there's a bunch that we can mention. It's a tough conference, but really liking what I'm seeing here, especially in the second half from North Ridgeville, and I think we're on the same page there. The Eagles offense coming back out on the field. They're going to have the ball right around the 23-yard line.
And again, I know we've brought it up a few times, but what's cool to see is, again, the young quarterback already showing that he's good enough to win you games. A lot of times we see these guys come in, they struggle for a game or two. Takes a while for them to get that first win under their belt. We've seen it over and over again. But him combined with the rest of the talent on this offense and the team in general, he's going to get a win. His first start out, it's starting to look like, and he's only going to get better as the season goes along.
Here's the handoff. Chalkwater has some space, tripped up just past the first down marker and falls forward, gets a couple extra yards off of that fall. Really had some good speed ahead. Again, if he wasn't tripped up, would have been a foot race getting around the edge. Could have been a monster play there for the Eagles, but a nice first carry for Chalkwater, and he's really been a guy who's come to life here in the second half.
I bet they're kind of wishing they would have discovered this double running back combo a little earlier in the game here.
Which is surprising that they didn't, because these are two returning guys. They're both upperclassmen.
Both seniors.
A senior running back and a junior running back in Chalkwater, and, I mean, they were on the field last year. Mm-hmm. Trips right. Dangerfield in the backfield, gets the carry, finds some space up the middle of the field. A second nice run, back-to-back runs for Dangerfield and Chalkwater. Under 10 minutes left to go in the game. So ball on the 43. Offense starting to move, knowing that they have to get a touchdown on this drive if they want any hopes to find a way back into this one.
Just give yourself a chance here.
Throw to the outside, this one high. Good placement there on the throw, and Lawrence Stanley drags the feet and hauls that one in for a gain of a few yards.
Credit to North Olmsted. I mean, they're not giving up. I don't know if we saw any substitutions on Ridgeville's side for the defense, but that's 3 plays in a row of positive yardage, and I don't really think we've been able to say that a lot about North Olmsted so far today. So even if it's a little too late, they're giving themselves something to build off of.
After quite a few positive plays, want to take a shot, and the closest one in that area is the defensive back. That's number 20, Carter Clark. He had a step on Lawrence Stanley, and that one, good thing that it was floated long there for a horse fall, and it fell incomplete.
That was a heat check.
Yep.
You know what I mean? If you can get that quick score, still with 9 minutes left on the clock, turning this to a 2-possession game rather than 3, that obviously helps you. It keeps you in. So don't mind them taking the shot downfield there. Luckily, again, in a spot where not going to turn the ball over.
3rd and 6 now from the 39-yard line. 9.5 minutes remaining in the fourth quarter. Trips right once again. Quick throw out to Dangerfield, and that play just 2 players not on the same page there, as Horsfall saw that little wheel route there from Dangerfield leaking out, and Dangerfield didn't even have a chance to get his head turned around again, and it was thrown behind him. Ball falls to the turf, incomplete. 4th and 6.
He was getting rushed there. Once again, it was Carson Mattis who's in the backfield. Brings that pressure when the Eagles least expect it. That's a wheel route that needs some time to develop, but he threw it too early. He also, just the timing was off there. Just wasn't what they needed.
So the offense remains out on the field. Chalkwater, the carry, and you saw Mattis jump that one quickly, got into the backfield, really forced Horsfall to have to hand that one to Chalkwater. And there were a lot of blue jerseys in front of him. And once again, a stop on 4th down, a turnover on downs. And we've seen that multiple times throughout this night. The Eagles really have not been able to get by the Rangers when they've gone forward on 4th.
This is the defensive line that's proving to be very tough there on that rushing attack. Now, again, there's a few teams in this league that have a good rushing attack. again, this North Olmsted, I'm not trying to compare him to Avon or Olmsted Falls, but it's a good test here for the Rangers early on.
Here's the carry, out past the 45-yard line. That was Andrew Ennis, number 8. Not too many touches for him tonight, but another one of those experienced running backs listed on the roster. The senior listed at 5'8", 140 pounds. After the gain of 7, 2nd and 3 from the 46-yard line. Ennis gets it once again, going back to the well with him. Had to cut back there and try to find a little bit of space. Got maybe a yard there on that carry. And white jerseys got to him immediately. Unfortunately, it looks like an Eagle is kind of hobbling here. Jackson Thogmartin, the senior linebacker here, trying to walk that one off.
Give credit where credit is due. I mean, Eagles did a great job penetrating into the backfield. The back was trying to swing around to the outside, and he had to stutter a little bit because he was trying to get around his own guys that were getting pushed back into him. So, again, slowed it down. Nice, again, little positive play from North Olmsted, and it looks like it's actually going to get pushed back here.
Yeah, chop block penalty called against the Rangers, so that moves them back 15 yards. Football is now going to be at the 31-yard line, and it will be 2nd and 18.
Real quick, guys, score update from Devin Lowe, one of our riders. He's been phenomenal for us. He just announced that Massillon has tied the game up here in the 3rd quarter. It's tied at 14s.
Big score update there for Massillon, getting right back into the game. Throw over the middle to Charlie Steinmetz, and Steinmetz not only gets the first down, gets really all that yardage back that was lost, but gets past the 50-yard line, and the Rangers once again into Eagles territory. And of course, when the Hinckley Roofing postgame show comes up and you're going to hear from Brandon Soder, I'm going to have to say that Charlie Steinmetz is a pretty good candidate for that Player of the Game award. We'll, of course, see what happens the final 8 minutes of this one, but probably going to be hard to unseat what Steinmetz has done.
I think you know where my vote's going, Cole.
We're not
all
giving
5
it to
offensive
the entire
linemen.
offensive line down. Every time.
Oh, they deserve it.
Here's the keeper, Cole Miller, making a couple men miss up the middle, and gets down to the 30-yard line.
Going into this game, I think we all had, Brendan Watchhorn highlighted. I think we kind of were like, what are they doing here, right? Again, we're not there in camp. We don't know what.
Yeah.
Maybe he was injured. We don't know. I will say, I'm on the Cole Miller hype train. It's a good young player. He's a sophomore. Lots of room to grow as a pass thrower. Look to see that the quarterback coach there works with him. They develop, and hey, this young kid. Oh wow, that's a play.
Yeah, hand off to Steinmetz. Got some positive yardage, 4-yard carry on that run there. And I'm with you. I think Cole Miller, maybe it took him a little bit, a couple possessions to really get settled in, with his first time out here, Friday Night Lights. But I'm impressed with what I've seen out of him. He's made a lot of good decisions as a runner, had some good passes as well, especially here in the second half, and I'm going to give him some bonus points as my namesake. I mean, Cole's getting it done out there on the field.
Rumor has it he was named after you.
Wow. I am impressed. I'm very impressed.
All of a sudden, Cole Miller getting votes for Player of the Game.
Moving up on my ballot right now. 6.5 minutes remaining. Miller's going to pull this one, decide to keep it himself, try to get around the edge, going to get some positive yardage, but is pushed out after a gain of quite a few yards, actually. Good job there. Another good decision from him, and it's going to be 3rd and short.
So one thing you usually see these younger quarterbacks struggle with is a lot of time they have the athleticism, they have the ability. It's the decision-making that takes a little bit of time to kind of seep in, and, just that ability to stay calm and make the right decision over and over. But we've seen it, right? I mean, they're trusting him on these rollouts and these options, and they're trusting him to throw the ball even in situations where, they might be better playing it safer. Like, he's done an excellent job so far commanding this offense.
Zach Barnhart had it touching a little bit, but he just threw the defender down, a nasty stiff arm. And not only is he going to move the chains there, but he kept that crowd excited here as the Rangers really are going to end up winning this game. But again, as sometimes you see in some of these games, then it's pretty clear what team's going to win it. you start to see the crowd energy start to die down. That just brought the energy right back up there from Barnhart.
I mean, come on. That's like Earl Campbell highlight tape. Come on. He just shoved another player's face mask into the turf. I mean, this young man is phenomenal. Oh, well, payback.
Big hit in the backfield. It's finding some space to break through was Jacob Holtz, the 240-pound defensive lineman, and he laid the lumber. So that's back-to-back big hits, one from the offensive player in Barnhart and one from the defensive player in Holtz.
I mean, bringing the wood. I mean, come on. Saw a break in the offensive line, took advantage of it. Barnhart was just waiting there with the ball. Couldn't get any momentum yet. Little revenge there for his teammate.
A little bit of speed there for 242, man. He was in the backfield before we had a chance to blink.
After the loss of 3, it makes it 2nd and 13, and not much room there on the jet sweep from Ryan Anderson. And we got a man down. I think that's just going to be a cramp there for one of the big boys down there for the Eagles. Of course, we talked about how nice of a night it is, but of course, still warmer than what you'll see when we get into the middle of the season and later part of the season. So haven't seen too many guys down cramping tonight, but a couple.
It's a little nice when you don't have to cramp this early on in the season. I just remember our first game. That game must have took hours. That first game of my senior year in high school. We just stood there. Every single player on the field was cramping. I mean, you gotta eat a banana every now and then.
Right.
So some pickle juice maybe.
Yeah, pickle juice is always a good decision there on the sideline if you're getting some cramps.
Except your breath kind of smells a little after.
Might be good for football. Might keep the defenders away if you're an offensive guy.
No, because it's like in your mouthpiece and it lingers. You don't want that. That's a little gross.
This blowout material brought to you by Hinckley Roofing.
Well, because then like a Tuesday practice comes along, or like, you know, that light Monday practice, for your mouthpiece is like, why does it smell like pickle juice? You don't want that. That's gross.
3rd and 13 from the 14-yard line. So we can always credit color man Dom Clary to give us some pure entertainment here on the broadcast. We see some movement up front. I think that's going to be a jump off sides there from the Eagles. Just a couple plays after really making a big hit, Jacob Holtz, one of his fellow defensive linemen. I believe that was 56, Muhammad, jumped off.
First name all name.
Quick pickle juice break here for everybody.
And actually, they're going to say that he was drawn offside, so movement on the offensive line there of the Rangers. That's the first time I think we've seen a false start from them, a flinch. It's really just been North Olmsted jumping off sides themselves.
Really? Other than, the first 4 plays, which were kind of a disaster for North Ridgeville, they've really settled in and limited the mistakes all game. And you can see, obviously, it's paying off.
Real quick, guys, 49-7 is the final there in Avon.
Throw to the far sideline. Cole Miller wants it. And Steinmetz. Big catch. Out-muscled the defensive back. Hauled it in. 3 touchdowns on the night for Charlie Steinmetz, the junior, making big plays happen. 33-7.
Cool. Brandon, I think we've just seen something. Something we didn't think we'd see today. Charlie Steinmetz has proved he's a player to watch. This is the emergence onto the scene of Northeast Ohio. Yes, he was great last year, but boy, he looks even better this year.
He looks bigger, he looks faster, he looks stronger. Everything Charlie Steinmetz has done, especially in the second half, has been impressive. I can't think of a bad play from the guy. He has just made things happen. And that there, you saw him shrug off his defender. That is a big grown man type of play there from the junior. 34-7 after the made PAT. 4 minutes and 45 seconds remaining in the game.
Good throw by Miller, but you were absolutely right. Give all the credit in the world to Steinmetz on that. That was a 50-50 ball at best. He had a guy draped kind of over him, and you saw him just rip that out of the air with power and then just continue running after the play was done. Like, he put everything he could into that, despite the score already being, obviously out of reach for the Eagles. I just echo what you guys are saying, man. Steinmetz is going to be a very fun player to watch this season.
You mentioned his ball placement was 50-50. That's very much like 1970s football, where you have one wide receiver that's just really tall, he's lengthy. You just toss the ball up and you put it in the spot where he can catch it, right? And try to create a winning play and trust that he'll get there. That's exactly what Miller's doing now. Until he can get that pinpoint accuracy, I know he's working on it, try understanding the route tree just a little bit more. Those 50-50 balls, they'll be there for him with Steinmetz all year long.
Some late substitutions for the special teams unit of the Eagles getting out onto the field as we're going to get this kick underway. And back in action we go, a low line drive. This one's going to take a hop into the end zone, so a touchback. First one of the night. And I think we're going to see some fresh faces, maybe not for the whole offense, but I wouldn't be surprised if we start seeing some fresh faces maybe on the defense, maybe on the offensive side as well, as this one really all but over here at the moment. Under 5 minutes left to go. With that score 34-7 as we mentioned. But at the same time, I think you have to see, regardless of what you do with the rest of the team, I think you want to see Tommy Horsfall still be out there, get some reps. He really never has settled in, and I think he's actually gotten more uncomfortable as the game's gone on, even when he's had clean pockets. We talked about throwing off of his back foot. See if you can get the guy a couple completions. Give him some confidence, so that way, going into the week of practices before week 2, as your starting quarterback, he's feeling like, okay, I still got this, can settle down, be ready for next week.
Again, like you said, just get him some reps. This game has gotten away from him. Even if he doesn't do anything productive from here on out in this game, and we got an excellent run here for North Olmsted. Even if he doesn't settle after this game, I think he got knocked off of his spot early, right? He's been facing pressure all day, again, to the point where when that pressure's not there, he's waiting for it. There's something in the back of his head waiting for somebody to be in his face. And when you're in that mindset, when you're in the Sam Darnold seeing ghosts kind of, you know, mentality, it's hard to, again, remember what you know, to really get settled and to shake off everything. So, again, I'm not writing off Horsfall by any means. Next week is a new week. I think he just really needs to settle down, see what he can do here, watch that tape, and be ready for next week.
After a great run from Dangerfield the play before, picking up the first down, some big yardage, just a couple yard gain there, but he took a pop there as one of those defensive backs was flying in quickly, dropped that shoulder into Dangerfield, hopped up, seems to be perfectly fine, but 2-yard gain definitely resulted in another big hit there. And now it's 2nd and 7 to be exact, actually from the 38-yard line. 3.5 minutes remaining in the game. Here's the pitch on the option, a high pitch. So that play, again, didn't go exactly, I think, how Horsfall wanted himself. He was a little unhappy with himself. You could see the head shake, knew that should have come off lower. And because Dangerfield had to reach up and snag that up high, he wasn't able to get the forward momentum he wanted running. And then saw the blue jerseys coming at him, had to stop and cut back, and just lost his footing.
Yeah, and good catch on that, Cole. I mean, if you're just watching that play quickly, you would, maybe try to put a little bit on Dangerfield for getting himself tripped up. But you're right. He had to go up and try to snag that. Really didn't hit him in stride off of that pitch. Don't really put a lot of that on Dangerfield.
Horsfield rolling to his left, setting his feet, wanting to launch this one long. This one tipped, and an interception once again. Xavier Compton gets his 2nd interception of the night, and he keeps running. Room down the sideline. He's going to take this one to the end zone. A touchdown for the Rangers defense. Pick 6 off the tip ball. And have yourself a celebration there, senior defensive back Xavier Compton. 40-7.
That's the 2nd pick of the night. They have the turnover hat there ready for him. Of course, it's the hat that I want. I've been dreaming about all week.
Yep.
But Xavier Compton, he's made sure he's been at the right spot at the right time. He makes it hard for any wide receiver to breathe. This kid might be a cornerback to watch for here, as he wears an odd cornerback number of 81.
Yeah, not too often you're going to see a cornerback out there with the number 81, but I mean, a lot of receivers you see with the number 81, and he can catch the football like a receiver, that's for sure.
Yes, he can.
I mean, track that one over the middle, got low, the diving interception initially, and that one just proved that he's a ball hawk. Tipped back, made his way back to the ball turn, and found some space with some blockers ahead of him upfield.
Look, positional numbers don't matter anymore, right? Teddy Bridgewater is wearing number 50.
Is that
for
true?
the Lions? That is true.
Only,
At least for preseason.
Only until they make roster cuts, supposedly.
Fair enough, but everything is chaos. I can't do that high of a number for a quarterback.
Oh, I can.
It just feels wrong.
That was my number. That's where 50 belongs, behind the center.
And are you a quarterback, Tom?
I can be.
Dom is our quarterback.
God.
We'll make him our quarterback
There you
here at the
go.
broadcast.
I can maybe read a cover 2 on Madden.
PAT up and good. 2 minutes and 15 seconds remaining as the Rangers, after trailing 7-0 to open up this game, have really surged in the second half. And this one is blown wide open, 41-7.
Again, we felt the momentum shifting. I don't think anybody would have predicted this scoreline, though, after what we saw in the first couple of quarters. But, again, I think we're seeing now more of what these teams are going to look like as the year goes on. Ridgeville was a little bit of a rocky start. They're proving that they're a force to be reckoned with. They got off to a hot start last year. They're picking it up again and hoping to, continue to push that, have more success in the SWC this year. And you can't ask for a better second half to really kick things off for them. North Olmsted, again, tough week. You got knocked off your game plan early. Things definitely didn't go the way that you expected. Your quarterback's been struggling out there. But, again, time to sit back, to reset. You've got plenty of season left, still 9 games to go. And it doesn't matter how much you lose by, still same number of games left under your belt. So, again, it's tough, but not time to panic yet for North Olmsted. Ridgeville got a lot of good things to take away from this game.
Well, North Ridgeville certainly has the number of the North Olmsted Eagles right now. Of course, mentioned last season when these two teams met, an even younger Rangers team at that time won 34-21, and this one looks quite different here when it comes to the final scoreboard. And I have to say that first half was very competitive, right? There was a lot of crazy things going on. These two teams were going toe-to-toe. I mean, there's a reason why it was 7-7 for the longest time ever in this game. It wasn't until, like we talked about, really the second half when we saw that expand not only on the margin of the scoreboard, but really we saw momentum. We saw almost the hesitancy a little bit from the play calling of the Eagles, and then we saw the expansion of the playbook from the Rangers. So they got farther and farther away the longer the game went on, and it was really a telltale sign a couple minutes out of the locker room.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that was the coaching staffs, and I'm not even saying North Olmsted did anything wrong.
No.
Right? I think they saw the same game that North Ridgeville did, but Ridgeville was able to take advantage of those weak spots and come out with a solid game plan. North Olmsted, I feel like they did the same thing. It's just there's only so much you can do when you're getting so outmatched in some of those trench battles. And again, just tough to really get anything going.
I haven't mentioned him really tonight, but credit to head coach Brian Morgan and what his team's looking like here and, the strides that they're taking. 2 minutes remaining. New quarterback in. And the handoff there up the middle. And no room at all.
And if nothing else, these teams are staying physical.
Yeah.
They're excited to still be out there and hitting pads right now. Like, no one's letting up.
I mean, right now you essentially have a JV preview for tomorrow. These are young guys. They're just happy to be under the lights. If you're North Olmsted, it's, we kind of didn't want to be out here in this kind of way, but here we are. And if you're North Ridgeville, hey, this is a good way to get some experience. It's a blowout. I was on a team. I was a JV player, and we blew everyone out so bad that our JV team that would come in at the end of the game scored more points than most of the teams in our conference because we'd come in 45-0 in the third quarter, and we'd just keep tacking on against the first team. It's a good experience to get here, especially for the Rangers. For the Eagles, you just don't want anyone to get hurt now. It's a long season.
And that was when you were offensive line for varsity, but the JV quarterback, right?
Yeah, I was the JV quarterback.
Your quarterback.
Listen. When I was in youth football, my dad drew up a play that was for the fifth quarter because I would play fifth quarter offense. I started defense. That I would hop at quarterback and I'd launch the ball. Here was the problem though. I didn't have glasses yet, so I could not see the wide receiver.
My dad also thought I'd be a great quarterback, Dom.
Some room to run. Getting out of the traffic was number 22, named Mahmoud. And I see some penalty markers down in the backfield. Clock continues to wind down. We're down to 20 seconds left, so that's going to be the last play, I'm sure, here of the night, unless they get to the line of scrimmage pretty quickly and try to snap it one more time. But assume this thing's going to wrap up 41-7, and you're going to see the North Ridgeville Rangers move to 1-0 to start the season, trying to follow what they did last year, going 3-0 in non-conference play. And as for the North Olmsted Eagles, they're going to fall to 0-1 and try to regroup after a tough night here to open up the 2023 season. Before we get to the post-game show, of course, you're going to hear Brandon Soder, who's, again, part of this three-man crew. And by the way, Brandon, so happy to have you on the broadcast with us. Of course, always doing great work over there with the camera and making sure everything's going well on YouTube as well. But so happy to have you on the broadcast.
Absolutely. Felt good to be back, guys.
So good to have this crew of three once again. Missed certainly the time during the offseason where we're not calling these games together. So we got our first taste of it here in week 1. Of course, you're going to hear from Brandon again where we will be in week 2. Make sure you hit that subscribe button here on the YouTube channel. But for me and Dom, we're going to sign off here in just a moment. So Dom, I want to ask you, any final thoughts for you on this game, or just anything about the high school football season getting started?
Yeah, we saw one team take the lead early. Clearly, offense, defensive-wise, they were just a step behind. It just took us until the third quarter to truly see that. The North Ridgeville, the Rangers, give yourself a hand. That was a great game. These young men, they put on a display of how to bounce back in the second half, how adversity comes in life and in this game, and you have to handle it. And that's exactly what they did. Hats off to the coaching staff. They did a great job. North Olmsted, I'm interested to see how they bounce back. They have, 9 games left, 8 games left? So yeah. I have no idea how many games are in the high school schedule.
9 games, yes.
I cover 142 games because of the MAC. So you can bounce back. I'm interested to see how they do that. But at the end of the day, North Olmsted, they knew the challenges coming into the season. If you're North Ridgeville, this is a huge stepping stone season for you. You're going to have a positive record, get into the playoffs, and truly take a step forward. Tonight we saw that.
Well, football season really, truly is officially upon us. And like I said, that wraps up week 1. 9 more weeks of regular season action. Of course, you're going to be able to see the Keon Sports Game of the Week here on the YouTube channel. Of course, make sure to pay attention on keonsports.com for all the written articles, as well as on the YouTube channel as well. You're going to see some highlight packages from several games around the area each and every single weekend as well. So for myself, Cole McDaniel, Dom Clary, going to sign off here. Want to thank everybody for watching and listening live tonight. If you play this one back, again, thanks for checking that out. And I'm going to hand this off in just a few moments. Brandon Soder will be back with you after this quick break.
Tonight's broadcast is brought to you by Roasted Coffee Shop. Family owned and operated, a former military man and his paramedic wife followed their dream to open the top coffee shop in Ohio. It is the tastiest coffee in town, and customers keep coming back for more. Visit them today to grab a cup at 27093 Bagley Road in Olmsted Falls. Maria Lano Photography. Maria Lano is a creative photographer that tells your story. She is there to document the love that you have for your family, those moments in time, or milestones that your children will share with their own family someday. Whether that means chasing the golden sunlight on the lake or family cuddles on location, she wants to tell your story. Her goal is for you to look at these photos on your walls and remember how magical you felt in that exact moment in time. You can find out more by emailing her at marialanophotography@gmail.com. Sedmac Insurance, an independent insurance agency who has served Northeast Ohio for over 50 years. Contact Jeff Romancic today at 440-777-7744 to learn more about what they can do for you. Graffiti Warehouse. Visit them at www.graffitiwarehouse.com for the very best in high school sports merchandise. If you're passionate about your favorite team, then stop by the warehouse and pick up the proper swag to support them. Spins Bowl. Spins Bowl has 36 lanes and a large redemption arcade with a full bar and restaurant. It is truly a good time for the whole family as it has something for everyone, young and old. Swing by their website for more info at spinsbowl.com. TNT Construction. They provide residential and commercial remodeling, construction, and building services to clients in Cleveland and all of Northeast Ohio. Look them up today at tntcleveland.com. Village Coffee and Creamery. From the founders of Nancy's Main Street Diner comes Village Coffee and Creamery. They have everything from dessert, lunch items, and coffee to ice cream and every kind of sweet treat you could think of. They are located at 486 Main Street in Grafton. ECI Photography with David Chapinski. ECI is all about sports photography, sports portraits, and senior images. ECI has been around since 2015 and has captured in-game images for parents and athletes, from peewees to high school, universities, Cleveland sports like the Cleveland Charge and Monsters, as well as the pros with the PBA and the Cleveland Guardians. He is always right in the action on the sideline. He offers many options, but the most popular is the 20 in-game images delivered right to your phone within 48 hours after the completion of the game. Sports portrait sessions include fog, lights, and a minimum of 45 minutes in front of the camera. Last but not least, he's been shooting for Keon Sports for the past 3 years. Contact him at eciphoto15@gmail.com, by phone at 440-396-2790, or through his website at www.eciphotography.biz. Scalpers Bar and Grill. Since 1994, Scalpers Bar and Grill has offered guests from all over Northeast Ohio the hottest in entertainment options. Over 20 big screens, great drink prices, and an array of video games, a private basement room, and an extensive menu, Scalpers offers something for everyone. Their legendary menu features award-winning wings, mouth-watering burgers, and fresh, crisp salads. Now patrons can enjoy these great tastes from 11 a.m. till 2 a.m. every day. Stop in at 5718 Mayfield Road in Lyndhurst.
And welcome into the Hinckley Roofing postgame show. Thank you all for sticking with us. The Keon Sports High School Football Game of the Week for Week 1 of the 2023 high school football season saw the North Olmsted Eagles coming into North Ridgeville to take on the Rangers. If you guys were here for the first half, it was a completely different ball game. We saw North Ridgeville really struggle to get things started. 2 special teams errors led to North Olmsted getting a touchdown early on a scoop and score during a block punt. But then from there on out, it felt like North Ridgeville was just really starting to settle in and just chipping away at North Olmsted's defense. Went in tied at 7 at halftime, so still a close game. From there on out, though, North Olmsted came out 3 and out right away. North Ridgeville took advantage, and it was all Rangers from there. As you can see, the final score, North Ridgeville 41, North Olmsted 7. Couple things for you guys. First things first, the Hinckley Roofing Player of the Game. If you stuck with us this whole time, I don't think you're going to be surprised. Running back Charlie Steinmetz for North Ridgeville had himself an absolute crusher of a game. 4 rushes for 64 yards, 2 rushing touchdowns, and that wasn't all. 5 receptions for 120 yards and a touchdown through the air. So very well-deserved. Charlie Steinmetz, our very first Hinckley Roofing Player of the Game for 2023. Couple more things for you guys. Next week, week 2, Olentangy is going to be taking on Medina. In Medina, we will be there broadcasting that game live. Both of those teams with impressive wins tonight. So both coming in at 1-0, about as good as you can expect to start. So it's going to be, an exciting game. Olentangy, a team that we don't get a lot of coverage on. Medina, obviously you all are familiar. We're there quite often, and it looks like they're going to have a great team once again. Also, if you happen to be a fan of North Ridgeville, this is not the last time you will see them on a Keon Sports broadcast this year. In fact, you won't have to wait long at all, as week 3, the North Ridgeville Rangers will travel to North Royalton to take on the Bears. Again, we will be there with full coverage for you. Last thing before we wrap up, folks, make sure that you are following Keon Sports for all your Northeast Ohio high school football action. We are the absolute hub for everything and anything that you need that's high school related. You want to go to one place to get all of your scores. You don't want to pop around to a million websites for different highlights, scores. You don't know if your information's accurate. We're going to have it all for you. 30-plus games being covered tonight, whether that be in written content, highlights, obviously here with video with us tonight. So a couple places you can do that. Obviously, KeonSports.com is where you're going to want to go, especially if you check that out tomorrow morning. You will be flooded with high school sports content, so plenty for you to go through. Follow us on YouTube, the Keon Sports YouTube page. You'll be notified if you subscribe anytime that we go live with a high school football game. Again, we have a full slate this year. Next week, like I mentioned, Olentangy at Medina, so make sure you tune back in for that. And then finally on Twitter, you can find all of our content retweeted in one nice little place for you, at SportsKey1, so make sure you follow us there as well. But thanks to you again, folks. It's exciting to be back out here tonight. High school football is officially underway here in Northeast Ohio, one of the most exciting times of the year. So once again, for Cole McDaniel, for Dom Clary, I'm Brandon Soder. Thank you all again for joining us tonight. We'll see you next week.